Good evening and welcome to Dawn Stadium here at Spanish Fork High School, where it's the 2021 Class 5A state football tournament here on Spanish Fork 17. The Spanish Fork Dons at home after a first-round bye, and they'll get ready to take on the East High Leopards. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst as we get ready to go for this one. Here we go, second round of the playoffs. If you're Spanish Fork, you've gotten a bye, but you have a team in East, Chris, that historically has been one of the top teams in whichever classification they compete in. This year, their record 3-6 may not be the standard that we've seen, but you really have to look in between those 6 losses to really find out this East team. Yeah,
and they won a game last week for sure, so they won their first playoff game, so I'll give them the 4th victory that they picked up, and it was a sound victory over Cedar Valley, 35-7 in the opening round. They're 22nd seed, so they played that game on the road, so if you're Spanish Fork, you've got to be, wary of this team. They went up there in 2016, and I believe it was either 28-0 or 35-0 at the end of the first quarter. So this East team, they'll run the triple option. They do it with kind of the 2 wide receiver look, but they're very efficient in doing it, and they have big play capability.
Spanish Fork, we last saw them with a big win over Woods Cross to end the season. That, though, Chris, was almost a week and a half ago. Well, I guess it was a week and a half ago. And when you really take a look at it here, Chris, coming off of that bye, and now you're kind of looking at this going, hey, now it's the playoffs, 1 loss, your season's over. Sometimes having that first-round bye comes back to negatively affect teams compared to help them.
Well, and I think that's very true. And in this instance, especially in the 5A classification, we saw a lot of good teams end up with seeds that started with the number 2 and not the number 2, but like Orem was a 21 seed. They're playing Provo tonight. East is a 22nd here tonight. But there's a lot of tough teams still left in this playoff, and I think Spanish Fork might have just, as we've got it here, might have just gotten a bit of a tough draw here. I know East, it says they're 22nd, but they beat the number 11 seed by 28 points. So East is going to be a tough out for Spanish Fork. They're going to have to play excellent tonight if they want to move on to that second round where they'll play either Stansbury or Olympus.
Yeah, as you can kind of see it there, this is kind of how this quadrant of the bracket is played out. And if you look at it, if you're Spanish Fork, you win, then you have to kind of wait and see what happens, because if Olympus beats Stansbury, the Dons would get a home game essentially in the quarterfinals, where the other possibility, Chris, with a win, you're going on the road to take on the number 3 seed Stansbury. And that's not necessarily, too difficult of a trip, but anytime you're having to travel in the playoffs, you'd rather play at home.
Yeah, for sure. So seeding does matter for these home games, and that's a big advantage. There's not very many people that traveled from East here yet. Maybe there will be some late arriving crowd, but I think Spanish Fork will have the home field advantage, and we'll see if that helps tonight.
Let's go ahead. They're doing the coin toss right now. As you see, again, the big picture of the bracket here, there is one team from this region in each quadrant there. You see Springville. They're taking on Alta. That game will get ready to start here in about another hour or so from Springville. And then you get the Orem-Provo game, which when you look at some of these matchups, Chris, that might be maybe the game in some ways of the week in that matchup. Going back to an old-time rivalry with Provo and Orem, maybe the original rivalry really in Utah Valley with those 2 schools.
Yeah, that's the rivalry Brigham Young set up, I believe.
And so it'll be interesting to see right here with Provo and Orem. Lehigh and Wasatch could be another good one there. The Wasps coming off of a big win last week against Maple Mountain, 55-20. Lehigh's had the bye, but right now those 2 teams playing well, and that's again a tough bracket there, knowing that you have Timpview most likely waiting in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and Lehigh and Wasatch is going to be a tough game. We've seen Lehigh in person, or not Lehigh. We've seen Wasatch in person, and they're a tough team. So that should be another great game. So great matchups here in 5A, but I think 5A is a little more open this year. Timpview's probably the favorite, but I think Springville's got a shot at it. Spanish Fork is in it as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw somebody with a 20 seed win it, like in East or an Orem. So I think it's pretty wide open.
Be interesting to see. Let's take a look at our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game. We got about 1 minute or so before kickoff.
Yeah, so the first key we got is so East is going to run the option quite a bit, so Spanish Fork's going to have to play assignment sound defense and cover those gaps. Second one is Spanish Fork's going to have to tackle in space. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one tackles that they need to make. And then also I think Spanish Fork's going to have to control the time of possession. They're going to have to establish the run game here and take some time off the clock and wear down this East team on the offensive side.
So we're about ready to go for kickoff. Spanish Fork, red tops, white pants, silver helmets. East in the white helmets, white tops, red pants, as Tione Tausinga, a senior defensive back and running back, will drop back to receive the kick from Austin Stevenson. We have 12 minutes on the clock, and we are set and ready to go. A couple hours earlier than what we've been used to on Friday nights here on Spanish Fork 17. With the workday for most people just having ended, we welcome you to the weekend, and here we have state playoff football here on Spanish Fork 17.
Oh, and what a way to start the weekend out here, Halloween weekend. We'll see if Spanish Fork gets a trick or a treat tonight, I guess.
We might see some spooky things happen as well as Stevenson gets ready to kick it away. Tausinga back deep to receive. He's standing at his own half-yard line right here, and we are set and ready to go for high school football. Stevenson approaches, and we're underway here with a short kick coming up. Tausinga fields it on a bounce it around the 13, gets across the 30, jumps it outside, trying to get the edge. Stevenson will usher him out of bounds. There's going to be a penalty flag, it looks like, potentially on the play right here, and this may be...
Tausinga got his helmet ripped off. I'm going to go with it was a face mask. At least that's what I saw.
Right here, so on the that would add 15, I believe.
Yeah. They don't have the 5-yard variety anymore, and even if they did, this would have still been a 15-yarder.
So they're going to mark the ball. Spanish Fork, and now they'll mark it off right here with the personal foul. So add 15 to the end of the run, and the Leopards are into Don's territory on 1st and 10. They'll start at the Spanish Fork 41. Leopards will run that triple option offense, and on the first play, right up the middle, not much going on as Amini Amone, number 2, got the carry.
A huge tackle that time for the Dons. I want to say number 45 got that one, Lukens.
So right there, a gain of a yard down to the 40, so we'll bring up a 2nd and 9 for East.
Here's the thing. Spanish Fork's got some great defensive tackles, some great linebackers, so I think East is going to have to attack the edges.
Right here, ready to go. 2nd down and 9 coming up. The give goes to the back. Number 33 jumps it outside. That's going to be a good game for Omar Shaw. And Shea, gets inside the 30 down to the 27.
And Harrison with the tackle. We got a
injured Don on the play. Trying to see here. I believe that's a lineman on that defensive line.
Looks like 40. I'm seeing a 4 and a...
And that may be the...
45.
We'll wait and see right here as we sort this penalty out. It's going to give East a 1st down, so the Leopards have it inside the 30. It will be at the 27. That is Lukens, who will come off the field here with help from trainer Rory Eyring.
And that's not a good sign ever, but that'll be tough to replace for Spanish Fork's defensive line.
So here it is, 1st down and 10 coming up. Leopards hurry to the football. Keep an eye on the receiver to the top of your screen. Their big tight end, they like to throw it there. This time they'll run on the sweep. That's Little, and he gets down to the 24. Jarek Little, the junior running back, they're able to pick up a couple down to the 24.
Yeah, and that was the same play, that kind of jet sweep. to the far side. That time Perry was in pretty good position to limit it just a 3-yard gain there. But that's something Spanish Fork's going to have to look out for, is that end around as well.
And this is a thing with East, and we talked a little bit about it during the Woods Cross game, Chris. If you get down, the offense and the play style really favors an East team. They can chew a lot of clock here with those possessions. Not really showing it so far here, starting with the short field. There's the option play up the middle, big hole, and that will be a touchdown for the Leopards as Amone takes it in from 24 yards out. It's 6-0 East.
And nothing difficult there other than Amini running that up the middle. And great blocking there. And, Luckins is out in the Western States tent in front of us, so that might have been a result of that injury.
So touchdown Leopards at 7-0 East. As coming in will be Carlos Alejandro Alvarez on for the extra point, and Alvarez kicks it through, and it's 7-0 Leopards with 10:21 to play here in the opening quarter on Spanish Fork 17. The big penalty, Chris, aids the Leopards' drive. That's one thing that Spanish Forks have to be really careful with tonight, is giving East extra chances and extending drives with penalties, something that we saw in the last couple of games for Spanish Fork that we did.
Yeah, for sure, and that's a great point, because the kickoff had a great return, and then that 15-yard face mask at the end of it gave East field position on the plus side of the field, and it's a lot easier to go 40 or 50 yards rather than 80. So I think if you're Spanish Fork, you got to try and get that ball into the end zone. But if you're East, you got to like what you're seeing. They had a couple of big runs on that play, and Amini comes into this game with over 1,500 yards rushing. So he's having a great season for the Leopards.
So right here, East will get ready to kick it away. Cade Olsen, number 3, back deep, along with number 6, Jace Gunter. Gunter to the top of your screen, Olsen to the bottom, as Alvarez will get ready to kick this one away. The Dons will have a chance to respond right here. Cade Olsen started the year with a kick return to the house. We'll see what he can do to start the state playoffs, and this time he will get a return from the goal line. Across the 10, tries to bounce it outside, looking to use his speed to get the corner. Gets a good return, almost out to the 30-yard line. A good heads-up return right there, and now you can see Spanish Fork's offense, Chris, who's really been led by the running game with Joshua Buck.
Yeah, Joshua Buck himself comes in with over 1,000 yards, and then when you get tired of tackling him, they mix in a little bit of Reed as well. So look for those two guys to get a lot of carries tonight, as I think Spanish Fork's probably going to want to keep it on the ground to set up some play-action passing.
Austin Stevenson, the quarterback, coming into the huddle right here. 10 on the play clock for the Dons. They'll have to hurry right here. 7-0 Leopards, 10:14 to go here in the opening quarter. Stevenson at quarterback, bobbles the snap, picks it up. Now just trying to scramble and make something out of nothing there. Stevenson will end up losing about 7 or so on the play. And right there, that's not the offensive start Spanish Fork was looking for.
Yeah, and for sure, you give up a touchdown on that opening drive to East. Spanish Fork does, and now they fumble the opening snap, and looking like there's a possibility of going 3 and out.
So right here, ready to go. Stevenson at quarterback with 3 wide receivers. A bad snap. This one's into the end zone. Stevenson chasing it, picks it up. Now just tries to kick it away. And it's going to be picked up by East, I believe, at around the 10-yard line. And nonetheless, it's going to be Leopard football. They're going to have it at the 10-yard line.
A rare second down punt by Stevenson. I think that the play on that is to throw it away. Yeah, maybe you get intentional grounding, or to just throw it out of the back of the end zone and get the safety. But
because even if you collect that ball, Chris, and throw it away and it's intentional grounding, it's still a safety either way at that point. But now, I mean, instead of just giving East the 2, you give them the ball first and goal essentially from the 10, and now have a potential to be down 14.
Yeah, for sure, and it's almost a given that East will get it this close to the end zone.
Siona Valija at quarterback here. Here's a carry through the middle. East will get a couple, and that is again with Amini Amone, the junior running back. And that gets him down to about the 6, so a good pickup of 4 brings up 2nd and goal for the Leopards.
And East has a lot of running options, but they really favor Amoni as he has twice as many carries as anybody else.
He's had a really good season this year for East. And right now, the Leopards trying to see if they can go up 2 scores on 2 possessions here. 2nd and goal from the 5, I formation set. Amone, the deep back. Here's the give and the carry right there going to Tafisi. There's a penalty flag that comes in at the end of the play as the senior Petello Tafisi got the carry.
We'll have to see if this is a hold or what the call is here, but
came in from like the back judge.
Pending the penalty, it'll be 3rd and goal from the 2. So if it's on the defense, I don't think it might give them a fresh set of downs.
The officials working this game have all been basically certified to work in the playoffs. So they have to take scores certain well on their exam before the season, then also have performance evaluations throughout the year. And this will back the Leopards up, so to speak, here. At least that's the early indication. As we'll get the call here, it's going to be personal foul against East. I don't think the officials' microphones. There we go. It's kind of cutting in and out, so to speak, right there. But that will make it 2nd and goal. That's going to back the Leopards up to the 20. And with this offense, Chris, not being one that loves to throw the football, this puts them in a really tough position when they get into a 2nd, 3rd, and long. So penalties for East really is going to negatively hurt that offense.
Especially a penalty of that magnitude.
Ready to go right here under center. Here's the give. Amone has it again, gets outside. Good open field tackle right there for Spanish Fork. It was Chase Pepper, the senior defensive back. Chris, you talked about fundamental open field tackles. Chase Pepper gives you the clinic right there.
Yeah, and that's all East is trying to do is they're trying to get people in one-on-one situations, whether it's blocking, whether it's tackling, and staying. The whole option is, hey, if 10 guys make a great play and play well on defense, we just need one guy to make a mistake. And so I think Spanish Fork is going to be forced to make a lot of those open field tackles. But to your point, great job by Pepper making that tackle.
3rd and goal from the 18-yard line right here. A give. Amone has the carry inside the 10, still on his feet. He's going to get down to about the 6-yard line or so. I think right there, it's going to set up a 4th and goal from about the 6. I know at least one Spanish Fork fan there looking for a hold, but the Leopards look like they're going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 6.
They're going fast too. Maybe not. Maybe they're just trying to draw Spanish Fork off sides.
Right now, Brandon Matich, the head coach for East, does not look like he's going to use that timeout, and now it looks like he did. And so I think the initial plan was to roll the dice potentially, but then Brandon Matich uses his first timeout of the half. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors for helping make tonight's game possible here on Spanish Fork 17. We got 2 Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter, Attorneys at Law, the Driggs Mortgage Team, the Clegg Auto Group. We thank them for making this broadcast possible each and every Friday night. We want to remind you can watch this game on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Also can watch all of our other shows and programming on that YouTube page as well. As we get set and ready to go, Chris, a big decision here if you're Brandon Matich. With the way your offense has moved the ball, I can see where Matich may go for it, but really if you're East here, do you try the field goal and just try to take the points?
I don't know what the kicking situation is, but if they've got a decent kicker, I'd probably go ahead and kick the field goal here and go up by 2 possessions. Because it would be very defeating to get the ball with great field position and then have no points out of it, but they're going to go for it.
The Leopards will go for it here. 4th and goal from the 6-yard line. They'll give it on the sweep, trying to get the corner, looking for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Leopards. And that is Omar Shaw, number 33, who gets in for the touchdown.
Yeah, and Shaw just goes around the end there. We'd seen that play, and there's 3 guys blocking one out there, and Shaw was able to get the corner.
Alvarez will come on for the extra point. 13-0 Leopards. And now they will here. Alvarez 1 for 1, made his first PAT on the evening here. Carlos Alejandro Alvarez. Snap good, hold down, kick by Alvarez is good, and it's 14-0 Leopards with 7:19 to go here in the opening quarter. And right here, Chris, if your head coach Dustin Smith, just about everything that you drew up all week and said this is how we want to start hasn't happened.
Well, it hasn't, and I think somebody riled the center because there were 2 offensive plays for Spanish Fork, and the snaps were not getting to Stevenson. So that's something that needs to be an emphasis on this next drive is we can't do anything if the quarterback to center exchange is going that badly.
So Cade Olsen, Jace Gunter will get their second opportunity here for a return. As we get set and ready to go, 7:19 to go. Winner of this one gets the winner of Olympus and Stansbury. For East, there's no equation in there that would allow the Leopards to play at home. They would travel to wherever. They're going to be the road warriors essentially in the playoffs. I guess if they made it to the semifinals in Rice-Eccles Stadium, that essentially a home game being so close in East's backyard. As the return coming from Cade Olsen across the 10-yard line, and he's going to be brought down around the 17-yard line on the return. And so Spanish Fork will start inside their own 20 with 7:14 to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Tim, you might want to request if they play East or Orem that they play that down at the Lavelle Edwards Stadium versus Rice-Eccles, so it's not a home game for East.
Ready to go here for the Dons. Like you said, that center to quarterback exchange, first thing that has to go right, but then you'd probably like to see Joshua Buck get a couple of carries for some positive yardage.
Yeah, I mean, right now just a fumble is going to be an accomplishment, unfortunately.
Joshua Buck straight up the middle into the heart of the East defense. He'll drag a defender for a couple of yards to the 20, brings up 2nd down and 8 coming up for Spanish Fork.
And Buck got hit about the line of scrimmage and was able to kind of twist his way with a guy hanging on his legs for 3 yards. So he's always great after contact.
Ready to go right here, 2nd and 7 from their own 21-yard line. Dons ready to go from quarterback Stevenson. Play action, throws this one, complete to Tenny Worthen. Worthen is hit, gets a first down, though, to the 30-yard line. Right there, but there's a penalty flag, and this looks to be in the area of a hold, and that's the one thing you didn't want if you're Spanish Fork, Chris. You move the ball, and potentially it's coming back via penalty.
I think the right tackle might have gotten a little too handsy there, and I think this one's going to be coming back.
And that appears to be the early indication as they check with the sideline. Brandon Matic pointing backwards to the officials, the East head coach, so that will back the Dons up. We'll get the official call here momentarily from it's going to be a hold. So you get the second down back, I guess, which is a positive, but it backs you up to your own 10-yard line.
A lot of people saying that there's holding going both ways here, but that one was obvious.
Here's a give right up the middle. Joshua Buck trying to bounce it outside, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, gets a good gain back right there, picks up around 11 or so, makes it 3rd and about 8 coming up.
Yeah, 3rd and he got more than we thought, about 5, 6 there. So great run by Buck, keeping it just bouncing off that first tackler and getting extra yards every time.
Making it very manageable here for the Dons to try to see if they can pick up the first down. Big 3rd down play right here. 3rd and 6 coming up. Stevenson checking the defense. 4 wide receivers for the Dons. Back to throw. Stevenson complete. Jace Gunter has it. Has a first down across the 30 to the 34. And that's a good completion there. The Dons take a tough situation, Chris. They get a first down. And that's big for the momentum for this Dons offense.
Oh, for sure. The last thing you wanted to do was go 2 and out and then 3 and out. So, yeah, first down, great catch, and they were able to fight through a hold there. So this East defense is looking pretty stingy, though. So I think the Dons are going to have to just keep plugging away one play at a time.
The Leopards are loading the box essentially every play. Even the safeties are only playing about 7 yards off the ball. Stevenson pressured, gets it out complete. Here's Cade Olsen, and Olsen's going to lose a couple. The Leopards were right there.
It was a great tackle. I think that was Tua for the defense that time, and it's tough. He looks like a big guy. It looks like it's going to be tough to break a tackle from him when he's got you, and Olsen was unable to get away. I think it was the right play call. Just needed to happen just a tenth of a second faster, and Olsen probably would have gotten downfield and got some positive yards.
East is playing those corners kind of off on an island. There's no help for those corners if they get beat deep. The question is, can you allow enough time? Buck trying to get the corner here, chased down, and he will get a couple of yards or so, but a nice open field tackle. East very quick to the football, brings up another third down and likely another passing situation here for the Dons.
Yeah, I think that was great blocking downfield, but like you're right, East, Ryan had great pursuit to the ball on that play.
Third down and about 7 coming up. Stevenson trying to go hard count, looks over, gets a new play from the sideline. 10 on the play clock for Stevenson. Play action, dropping back, looking down the sideline, has Cade Olsen. That ball's tipped and looking for a flag. They don't get the flag, as coming over was Jarek Frederick there to knock that one down. Frederick listed as a defensive end and wide receiver, and that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, so that looked pretty close to PI. The one thing I couldn't tell is if the defender tipped it before the ball got to the receiver, and if it got tipped, then I think you can, hit the receiver after that.
Stevenson will have to punt. Most likely back deep for East is Tausinga. He's back at his own 26-yard line. Tione Tausinga. And Stevenson, I think, thought about maybe looking for the fake there. They punted away. Tausinga catches it at his own 19. The Dons there in great pursuit and a great open field tackle by McKay Peary right there. And East will start deep for the first time in their own territory, and a nice just one-on-one. This is another open field tackle that you're talking about, Chris.
That's a couple Peary's had. The one thing that really helped that punt was East did not rush the punter and was setting up the return, and what did Stevenson do? He moved up, which allowed the Gunners to get downfield quicker. So I think the delayed punt that time really aided the Peary in getting down there to make that excellent tackle. So probably a ball you need to make a fair catch on if you're East, because at the end of the day, it's really easy to fumble those.
You talk about a momentum shifter. That could have been a fumble. Leopards have the football, though, at their own 20-yard line. Here's the give up the middle for a few yards. Still dragging the pile ahead is Amini Amone. A little bit of a late shove there by the Dons, but a gain of about 3 or 4, and you may see this game, especially if East gets up early, you may see this game get a little chippy right here. Some chippiness before the contest.
So East is up 14-0. How much more do they need to get up before they get up early? Rhetorical question, but yeah, I don't think the Dons can afford to get down by any more points in this game.
Early still, Chris, it's not quite early yet.
I'm just shocked at how fast East got up in this ball game.
That should be a first down there for East, as Sione Vilaahi there on the carry.
And Vilaahi, that one is Siona, and we have Sione and Siona.
Sione will line up at running back. Siona is the starting quarterback for East. So far, we haven't seen a lot of runs from Siona. It's been really Siona making those reads.
And Amoni's been the tailback number 2. He's been very impressive lining up there with those 2 tailbacks and finding the hole.
Ready to go right here, and Amone gets the carry, tries to bounce it outside. A penalty flag comes in, and Amone's there able to get a couple of yards. We'll see what the penalty is for. East has a history of good running backs. You may remember the name Jalen Warren, who the last time these two teams played, he had a great ball game for East, went on to play at Snow College, and then Utah State, and then now plays at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, and he was very impressive. He didn't have too many offers out of college. I think he even had to go the junior college route, if I'm not mistaken, to get to Utah State, then to eventually Oklahoma State. And I was shocked because I'm like, this guy is as good as I've seen at the high school level.
Holding penalty against East will back the Leopards up to their own 23-yard line and bring up a first down. Bring up a 1st and 13. Sorry, 1st and 20 from the 23. Back to throw. First time we've seen East look to throw. They have a receiver out there. That's Frederick, and they just overthrow the junior tight end, Matthew Frederick. That's kind of their deep down the field passing threat right there, and just a little bit of that incompletion there. A nice job there. A nice break, I should say, by Spanish Fork, Chris, and being able to get that here. If they could force an East punt, they could at least try to flip the field in some ways.
Yeah, and you brought up earlier that holding penalties are kind of a big deal to teams that run the option. And then when you decide to throw it after a holding penalty, it's 2nd and 23 to go in this situation. And so you're going to have to average about 12 yards a carry if you keep it on the ground, and that's very difficult to do.
Especially it's difficult at any level, but at the high school level, trying to keep that average up. And now I think we have a timeout called by East. So the Leopards will take a timeout with 2:29 to play in the opening quarter. 14-0 lead for East. Brandon Matich has used now 2 timeouts here in the opening quarter, but Matich definitely wanting to make sure he's got the right play call here on this 2nd and 13.
Yeah, and if you're Spanish Fork, there is no prevent defense. You still have to keep so many guys up in the box. You have to account for each player who has what assignment. So even though it's 2nd and 23, there's still the option of them pulling it back and passing it deep.
You haven't seen a lot, Chris, of really anything fancy coming from East. They have really done a great job. And it's tough because this score doesn't really indicate how much, or how well, I should say, that Spanish Fork defense has played. The Dons defensively have played well. East has just had 2 short fields.
They have, and they took advantage of it. The one thing that East has done that's really impressed me is their play calling, where they'll mix things up with that end around. They'll hit you up the middle a couple times and then hit you with the end around.
Ready to go right here. They're looking to throw. Trying to take a shot now, making a man miss, and then goes down back at the line of scrimmage right there was Sione Valihi there. Does a nice job getting back to the line of scrimmage. But now this is exactly what the Dons defense wanted, Chris. You're now putting East in that uncomfortable position of 3rd and 18. There's not a lot of play calls available in 3rd and 18 in this offense.
No, there's not, and really a great play there by Tenny Worthen. I think that was pretty close to behind the line of scrimmage. So I'm going to give him a 2-jack sack on that and brings up 3rd and long.
Right here. We'll see if the Dons defense can get a stop right here. Back to throw. Looking to take a shot. Now steps up, being chased and getting away from one, but won't get away from the second Don that gets there. Tayson Reed on the 2-Jacks Pizza quarterback sack.
Yeah, and great job by Spanish Fork rushing the passer that time. Everybody staying in their lane, making sure there was nowhere for Valhalla to run. And at the end of the day, Valhalla kept running and just kept going in the wrong direction. So Spanish Fork should start with great field position.
Darian Harrison back deep to punt. Spanish Fork late getting the last man on. No one was covering the gunner. Dons almost blocked the kick. Line drive return for Darian Harrison. Tries to cut it back at around the 46. Breaks a tackle, spins. Has a few more yards before going down around the 42. And this is a big time in the ball game for Spanish Fork. The Dons did exactly what you hoped for, Chris. Flipped the field. Now they have the football in East field position.
Yeah, for sure. And great defensive possession that time for Spanish Fork, as they'll get it in good field position, and they moved the ball well on that last drive. They picked up a couple of positive plays, just had a negative hold there and ended up punting, but really that was a great return by Harrison that time, breaking a couple tackles.
Chase Gunter goes in motion. Stevenson taking a shot, looking, and just overthrows at his intended receiver, Tenny Worthen. It's going to bring up second down.
And Tenny Worthen's like, okay, I thought I was supposed to go kind of short on that route. I was reading the safety. Stevenson read to go deep that time. And so at the end of the day, it ends up being an incomplete pass on how the quarterback and receiver read that play different.
So bring up 2nd and 10 right here for the Dons. You have to think if Spanish Fork can get some time that we'll see a deep ball to Cade Olsen at some point here this evening. 44 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Stevenson at quarterback, back to throw. Now rolling away, being chased from behind. Throws this one. It's going to go incomplete. A penalty flag comes in right there. Chase Barker, the defensive back, right there, just almost just tackles Cade Olsen as he goes to make the catch.
Yeah, I mean, that's about as blatant as a hold or pass interference as I've ever seen. If they don't call that, I don't know when you would ever call a pass interference in this game.
So we'll see here, like Chris mentioned, and it will be pass interference against East right there. And that's a tough matchup for Chase Barker. That's a tough matchup with Cade Olsen, but Barker wasn't in bad position, Chris. I don't think he really needed to do that to make a defensive play.
Yeah, he could have tried to knock it away, but it's really tough to guard somebody that long if you're a defensive back. Stevenson rolled out and had plenty of time to throw that.
Well, Spanish Fork will go kind of into a triple option look formation. Jace Gunter trying to get the corner, trying to move sideline to sideline. Tausinga gets there and tackles Gunter close to the line of scrimmage. I don't know. He actually is going to end up losing about 3 yards or so.
Yeah, couldn't quite break that tackle of Tausinga and ends up just getting back to the 29.
Tausinga with good speed there from his safety spot. He's the one that's kind of playing, Chris, you've heard me mention earlier, he's playing out on an island. Just out there, that safety spot just to run around.
Oh, yeah. They're loading the box up here trying to stop Spanish Fork from running it.
Stevenson back to throw. Completes this one. Here's Rupena on the catch. Makes a man miss, and Rupena's got one down to the 23.
Well, looks like that's going to be it.
And that will end the first quarter. A 14-0 lead for East. At the end of one, we'll take a break. Back with the second quarter here on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
If you want the real deal, contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Start of the second quarter here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst as Spanish Fork has the football approaching the red zone against the East High Leopards, but so far it's been 2 touchdowns on short fields by East to take a 14-0 lead.
And Spanish Fork had a nightmare start to this ball game, but are recovering nicely.
4 wide receivers on the field here for the Dons. Definitely probably in 2-down territory. They'll fake it to Gunter. Here's the give back on the counter to Joshua Buck. Buck down to the 19-yard line, so he'll be short of the yard to gain, but now it makes it a 4th and a yard or 2, and a lot easier for Dustin Smith here to say, well, let's go.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to need a yard and a half in this, or actually two yards in this situation.
Dons in the red tops, white pants, silver helmets. East, white tops, red pants, white helmets. Here it is, 4th down and about a yard, maybe 2 to go. Stevenson goes under center. And now whistles blow, timeout Dons. So Spanish Fork wants to talk about it. You're going to see coaches in the playoffs especially use timeouts a little bit different than what you see in the regular season. Because of the fact, Chris, 1 loss, your season's over. You want to make sure every play, especially a crucial 4th down, puts you in a position where you can score.
Yeah, very true. And that puts a little added stress on these young athletes. And I think we might have saw some of that stress catch up to Spanish Fork because they had an early kickoff return that for East that went well, and then the Dons had a face mask, and there was a couple of bad snaps on the opening drive that led to really good field position for East. East started with the ball inside Spanish Fork's territory twice and inside the 10 once, and came away with 14 points, and that's why they're leading 14-0 here. You probably want to mention what's going on with our scoreboard.
Yeah, our scoreboard, that's being played in the stadium right here. And so that's you'll see some of those graphics there. That's not the station. That is just going up here on the scoreboard here. And now we'll see what Spanish Fork has drawn up.
And there's definitely a little more intensity out of the parents section here tonight too, as I've seen. The parents are a little more vocal today as well, because of the importance of this game.
Buck gets the carry up the middle. It's going to be close, and it doesn't even look like he got much progress forward. The officials are still looking at it, but just by the way the two teams are facing, it looks like Buck is short of the 1st down, and that'll be 1st down for East.
Yeah, he got about half of what he needed, Buck did that time, and so turnover at downs, and Spanish Fork's defense will have to get back on the field. For the Dons, I think the one thing they need to do is they need to cover that edge. East is really getting them on that end around.
And we'll see here as East will come out. 1st and 10 Leopards at their own 19-yard line. Ready to go right here. Under center, ready to go. And they'll give it right up the middle. This is going to be Petolo Tafisi. And Tafisi's got a 1st down across the 30 to about the 33. A fresh set of downs coming here for East.
A great run up the middle that time by Tafisi. And the Dons had a really good push on some of these plays up the middle, and they've got to recreate that a little bit.
So 1st and 10 coming up right here. The interior of that Dons defense, the front 7, really is going to get tested, and this is when the secondary really has to help out, and really you can load the box against a team like East. Up the middle into the open field. Here is Sione Amone, and he's going to have a 1st down. Amini Amone, I apologize, has a 1st down into Don's territory, down to about the 38-yard line.
Yeah, a lot of misdirection in the backfield. Smoke and mirrors really opened up that hole for Amini as everybody was kind of moving around, but great open field tackle by Harrison that time, or it could have went for 6.
East will take their time. They'll huddle, and they're not going to snap the football really generally, Chris, we've seen here so far this evening, until under 10. I mean, they're going to use the full play clock. 2 backs set right here. The give, Tafisi. Number 5 digging towards the 1st down. It looks like here is going to be very close, and they have another 1st down with Petolo Tafisi, a senior running back and linebacker.
So that's been 3 big runs on this drive, I believe all on 1st down. So the Dons have had little resistance after getting off the field in a 3-and-out situation on the last possession. So East seems like they've figured something up the middle here that's working really well.
First and 10, ball on the 28-yard line. 9:36 to play here before halftime. Directing traffic. Tafisi now set in the backfield, and penalties go. Or the whistles blow. We'll see here. And Brandon Matic may have used his final timeout. But we'll wait and see here what it's going to be. It's going to be delay a game actually against East. This will back the Leopards up 5.
And that's something you got to be aware of as the quarterback is 40 seconds is a long time to set up and snap it. And then as slow as they're going, that's, really shouldn't be an issue.
2 back set right now. Here's the give up the middle. And a nice job. Tayson Reed gets there and pulls back. Amini Amone there. A nice job there from Tayson Reed.
Yeah, great play by Reed, really penetrating into the backfield and meeting the running back near the line of scrimmage.
So ball will be placed at the 31-yard line. Brings up a second down and about 13 to go. 9 minutes to go. That clock will move pretty quickly with East. When you run the ball as often as East does, there's not a lot of time that stays on the clock. Here's the run. Here is Amone into the secondary, and he is gone. Touchdown, Amini Amone, his second of the day. It's 20-0 East.
And that's a run of 31 yards. His earlier touchdown was 24, but he broke a couple tackles on that one, as that was a really tough run that time, and East is up 20-0. So if you're Spanish Fork, you might need to kind of change your game plan up a little bit.
Carlos Alejandro Alvarez will come in for the extra point. Spencer Black, number 18, doing the holding for East. We'll see what Alvarez does here on the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good. So 8:45 to play before halftime. A 21-0 lead for East over Spanish Fork. And, Chris, it's really not that Spanish Fork has played bad fundamental defense or anything. It's really just been a couple of those keys that you mentioned, the tackling in space on those 3 touchdowns. It's been the tackling in open space. It just kind of has been a challenge for the Dons tonight.
And they've done a pretty good job of tackling in space, but they've just got to meet the defender closer to the point of the line of scrimmage. And I think that you got to credit East offensive line. They're some big boys, and they're doing a great job of firing off the line and pushing back Spanish Fork's defensive line so far.
This is probably the biggest offensive and maybe even defensive line that Spanish Fork has seen all year. And again, I mean, I haven't seen each game for the Dons, but at least in a while. And so when you look at East, it's tough because Spanish Fork really has done a lot of things right, Chris. They've loaded the box. They've put the front 7, within about 5 yards or so. The safeties are about 7 or 8. Right now, really looking for a play in the special teams game with Cade Olsen. Olsen across the 20, into the open space, gets past the kicker. It's a foot race for Cade Olsen, and he is gone. That will be a Spanish Fork touchdown.
What a fantastic return by Olsen to cut this score lead back down to 15 here. And like you mentioned, the first kickoff in this stadium was returned for a touchdown by Cade Olsen, and he's got another one tonight in his senior year. He doesn't want to end his season with a loss to East for sure.
A nice touchdown or kick return there for Cade Olsen, a much-needed spark for the Dons. And now Austin Stevenson can come on for the point after touchdown try. As Stevenson will come on the field, and that's the big response. Doesn't give your defense much of a break, but right now what you needed if you're Spanish Fork, Chris, was you needed a big play and you needed some points.
Oh, for sure, and that was a fantastic return. I think you'll take points at any way you can get it.
They called, I believe, an unsportsmanlike conduct against Spanish Fork, on East. That will be enforced on the kickoff. And the extra point is going to be good here for Stevenson. And a big-time score, 21-7 lead for East. And right there, Cade Olsen, you go back to one of your seniors and you say, hey, we need somebody to make a play. Cade Olsen does it.
Oh, and he is just one lane away from going for 6. Cade Olsen is very fast. As we saw, he outran a bunch of East defenders there. So if you're Spanish Fork, though, if it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and they're going to move that ball up 15 yards.
At that point, you have to wonder if it's almost worth going for the onside kick. Because you know, right here.
And they're moving him back. I'd go for the onside kick because it might be better than what they've been getting otherwise. If you can get it close to the 35 for East, their average field position has been a lot better.
And so really, I mean, when you take a look at it too, you're kicking from the 45. Stevenson will put this one in the end zone, Chris. So, I mean, really, it's only a loss of, maybe 10 or 12 yards if you're Spanish Fork, even if you don't come up with the onside kick.
Yeah, I think you go for this. Here, we'll see what they do.
The only challenge is East has crunched up the return team as well. Stevenson will kick this one, relatively looking for the onside kick, but coming up with it for East was Benjamin Roberts, number 44, I believe. He came away with that one there for East, and that was kind of the idea, go to the short side of the field and try to see if you could run down and beat them. But instead, East will have the football inside their own 20 at the 16, so you gave yourself a shot to get the football without maybe necessarily going for the direct onside kick.
Oh, for sure. And the one thing that happened there is the ball didn't go out of bounds, and so not sure where they would have put it after the 15-yard penalty. But at the end of the day, East starting with their worst field position of the night.
At their own 17-yard line, 1st and 10 coming up. Give up the middle on 1st down, and that is Tafisi. And Tafisi's going to get maybe 5 or so, maybe 6 on 1st down.
And it's all set up by great blocking by East.
And this is where, Chris, if you can get some stops, this triple option offense really works well for East in the sense because it's going to at least chew some clock. But if you're Spanish Fork, you can get sometimes get some easier 3 and outs.
Yeah, the only worry you have if you're East is getting that delay of game because they're using up most of the play clock every time.
Here's a give straight up the middle and back to maybe a half a yard of gain there that time for, believe that was Tafisi again.
So Spanish Fork had that momentum-changing kickoff return by Cade Olsen a minute ago. If they can get a stop here on 3rd down and force East to punt it, this could also be continue to change the momentum of this ball game.
So right here, ready to go, coming up, 13 on the play clock right here for East. The Leopards in a 3rd down and about 3 coming up. Here's a give. Tafisi, and right there was Rupena to make the tackle. Nothing going on right there, and that was Amini Amone on the carry, and now East in a position most likely to punt, and you got the big stop you needed.
Yeah, great job by Rupena hitting the gap that time, making sure it went nowhere, and, he really did it. I mean, that is a game-changing play here.
Amini Amone will punt it, and this is going to be just a short punt. Takes a bounce inside and a roll, and it's going to be great field position as it rolls down at the 43-yard line for Spanish Fork with 6.5 minutes to go before halftime. And really a drive here for Spanish Fork starting, Chris, with good field position. Really would like to come away with 6 here if you're the Dons.
For sure. East got the ball to start. I'm pretty certain of it this time. I wrote it down. I know I got it wrong last game. But Spanish Fork can come away with some points, take some time off the clock here. It could be a 7-point ball game heading into the half, although we still have 6.5 minutes to go, so there could be a lot of things happen.
Stevenson at quarterback with Joshua Buck. Ball on the 43-yard line. Here's an option play. Stevenson keeps it. goes down right around the 50-yard line or so. A nice heads-up play from Stevenson to get 7, and that's been kind of the game we've seen from Austin Stevenson at times. Maybe not the fastest guy, but he is sneaky quick.
Yeah, and they're going to go up tempo here, but that was a great keep. It looked like he was going to pitch it, and everybody bought on that, and he was able to snake his way up for 7 yards.
2nd and 3, ball right on the 50-yard line. 4 wide receivers, Buck the single back. Stevenson back to throw. That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, goes incomplete, and brings up 3rd down and about 3.
Great hands that time by Benjamin Roberts, number 44. He couldn't get to the quarterback, so what's he do from his defensive end spot? He hits it, gets his hands in the air and knocks it down, and now the Dons facing a critical 3rd down here.
So 3rd down from the 50. The Dons have been able to, here in the second quarter, play with good field position. Here, the first quarter, East dominated the field position. But now, the Dons with an opportunity right here. 3rd down and 3 from midfield. Buck and Stevenson in the backfield. The give, Buck on the carry. Stevenson kept it. And Stevenson's going to come up a yard short right there. Everybody, including me, thought Buck had the ball, but it was Stevenson. And now it's going to bring up 4th and 1. And this, again, is decision time for Dustin Smith. Do we want to pin East back, or do we want to go for it on 4th and 1?
4th and 1. Stevenson's been pretty good with his feet. I wonder if the play here, since it looks like they're going for it, is to roll him out.
Give him the option to throw or run if needed. Tayson Reed's joined the backfield.
Yeah, and have a couple of those receivers go kind of run to that side as well.
Reed goes in motion. Gets under center, takes the direct snap. And Reed, I think, is going to have enough. We'll see on the spot. East is saying no, he didn't get the 1st down, but just from the initial spots from the officials, it looks like he got it.
Well, it's a travesty if they say he didn't get it, because they pushed him back like 15 yards after the whistle blew. Coach Matich over there is checking the line, checking where he's at. It's going
to be really close. I don't know if they should just bring out the chains to at least measure, because that at least will appease, I would imagine, both coaches to at least have them check. But now what they're going to do is they will bring the chains over here. But it looks like it's a clear 1st down from at least where we're at.
Yeah, so you got the ball at the other side of the 47. I don't know why we're even wasting our time measuring this one.
Brandon Matich, though, on the far sideline, really felt like they didn't get it. So we'll see here as they kind of come in here. They'll stretch the chains out. We haven't had this too much here on our broadcast this year on SFCN.
Wow.
And it's going to be 1st down by almost a full football.
Yeah, I'm in shock. I don't know why they measured that one. There's some that are really close. That one was one where it's probably just, like you mentioned, appeasing the opposing coach. And if that helps him sleep better tonight, then great.
1st down and 10, ball on the 47-yard line right here. 4 wide receivers for the Dons. Tayson Reed joins the backfield again. 5 minutes to play before halftime. Stevenson at quarterback. Takes the snap, gives it to Tayson Reed. Reed has the 40 and gets tripped up. I thought he was going to stay up on his feet and go for at least the 1st down, but nice job there from Tayson Reed.
A great job by the guard and tackle pulling that time, creating a lead blocker for Reed to follow behind, and that's a big pickup that time. And Dons do a great job of moving their offensive linemen to be lead blockers.
Stevenson looking to throw here, takes a shot,
That's a hold.
has Worthen, who dives and comes up with the catch. Inside the 10, Tenny Worthen stretches out and hauls it in.
And that should be a great catch by Worthen, but that was a hold all the way on the defenders. He's grabbing Worthen's jersey, and the official's not calling it.
And that's one thing, you see in soccer sometimes they won't call it depending on the advantage if the other team gets it anyway. But still, Chris, that's when the flag has to come out.
It should have came out well before the catch.
Stevenson pitches that one, and that one goes out of bounds as Stevenson pitches it as he's getting hit. And I think he was trying to maybe pitch it forward for an incomplete pass, but it's going to bring up second down either way.
Second down, and the Dons dodge a bullet there as that ball got pitched into the out of bounds, and they'll lose a few. Oh, that was scary.
They'll move the ball back to the 6-yard line.
It's only a loss of about 1 yard.
Still sometimes on first and goal, it's easier just to keep the ball and go down. 5 wide receivers, Stevenson by himself. Gives it to Cade Olsen. Olsen trying to get the corner. Talsinga there. He'll beat Talsinga to the corner, and then he's pushed out of bounds. Right there, a one-on-one battle between Talsinga and Olsen, maybe two of the fastest guys on the field right there. And Olsen winning that battle there, getting the corner.
He got the corner, but great head fake. Just unfortunately, the pursuit from the other East defenders was too much.
3rd and goal from the 3. If you're the Dons, Chris, 2-down territory at this point?
No, I guess it depends on how close they are. If they lose 5-6 yards on this play, I'm probably going for the field goal. If you get half of it, I'm probably going for the end zone.
Olsen in motion. Stevenson keeps it, spins past one tackler, but right into Tafisi, who makes the tackle right there. And the Dons at least align Stevenson up for a field goal try, at least from the middle of the field.
It's very hard to hit it from the edge, and it looks like they're going to send on the kicking unit. And I think that's you can cut the lead to 11 here, which is huge.
4th down, and Stevenson will come on.
Clock stopped.
Stevenson will get ready to kick the field goal right here. Brandon Matic on the sideline. Linea special teams. Stevenson on for the field goal try. Snap good, hold good, kick, blocked, and no good. East able to get there and block the kick right there, and that will bring up 4th down. That will be a turnover on downs and ball back to East.
A great job by East getting a hand on that ball. If you're Stevenson, you probably want the trajectory to have more of an arc. But at the end of the day, East made the play, and they'll get the ball, I believe, at the 20.
So it'll be first down coming up for East, 3:57. That's a tough drive there for Spanish Fork. Let's take a minute here and thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Yeah, we got 2 Jack's Pizza, Clegg Auto Group, Driggs Mortgage Team, McKell, Thompson Hunter, Attorney at Law, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Ready to go, 1st and 10 for the Leopards. The quarterback on the keeper trying to get outside, has a first down across the 40, almost to midfield before Darian Harrison pulls him down right there, and it looks like a penalty flag has been thrown at the end of the tackle.
And that was high. I don't know if that was a face mask or what they're going to call this. I'm curious because it looked clean, but you do worry about tackling that high for a helmet-to-helmet or horse collar. They're probably going to call.
Vailahi there on the carry. That was Siona Vailahi, and Vailahi had a good gain, and we'll see. We're going to get a dead ball personal foul, face mask against the Dons, and that will add 15 yards here to the end of the run, and East now is right there.
So they called that a face mask. It was high. It was in the area of a near face mask, but he didn't grasp it. Now maybe he got the back of the helmet.
Nonetheless, the ball goes down to the 30-yard line, and the Leopards are threatening here before halftime. I give up the middle. Here is Amini Amone, and he gets down to the 20-yard line. A pickup of about 9.
Yeah, Amone doesn't quite get the first down, but they're getting there.
And this is what maybe worries you a little bit if you're Spanish Fork. You're down 2 scores, which is worrisome enough, but how long that defense has been out on the field, you wonder if in the second half, this is when East may really start tacking on some of those chunk plays right now. But it'll be second and 1, as they get it outside. Here's Jarek Little breaking a tackle, and then Chase Pepper will wrap him up. But after the first down, I believe, is going to be gained there by Little.
We got a penalty as well, so it's probably everybody on the East side is clapping and cheering. So I'm wondering if this is a unsportsmanlike conduct late penalty on the Dons.
We'll see here if that is. That will be half a distance to the goal added on it, which should put East inside the 10 with 3:06 to play before halftime. Officials will sort out the penalty right here. We'll see here as the official with the white hat will make the call, but it does look like it's going to be a personal foul based off what we saw. It will be a dead ball, personal foul against the Dons. So that will add on a few more yards right here, and it will put East inside the 10-yard line. Leopards threatening again. Here's the carry outside, and getting down to about the 8-yard line is Sione Valahi there on the carry.
And at the high school level, there's always one drive where it's either, stalled by back-to-back big penalties on the offense or aided by back-to-back penalties on the defense, or at least a couple of big penalties on the drive. And this is one where the Dons can look at a couple of personal fouls aiding East on getting down in here into the red zone.
East threatening here. They have 3 backs in the backfield right here. Amone gets the carry, driving his legs forward down to about the 6. As Amini Amone there on the tackle brings up 3rd and goal.
Third down, a couple of big tackles by the Dons here. We've seen East go for it on 4th down earlier in this kind of field position, so I'm sure they're just trying to get a couple yards if they don't get into the end zone to make it a 4th and 1.
3rd down and goal from the 7-yard line. Big play right here for the Dons defense. Valahi keeps it, number 4 on the keeper. Gets hit and brought down at around the 3-yard line right there. Well short of what was needed on 3rd to bring up 4th down. A big hit there at the end with the collision, but a nice tackle by the Dons. And now decision time for East. Is there a penalty flag, it looks like, that was thrown?
Looks like it's going on East.
So the officials are discussing it right here.
That was a great play by Spanish Fork's defense to kind of, by the corner out there who was one-on-one.
Holding indicated against the Leopards. That will back East up here.
But, yeah, to get back to my point, Vala Hall was one-on-one with, I believe that was number 4, Pepper on the outside, and Pepper did just enough to stall him until his friends could help him make that tackle. So I think the Dons, for the most part, have done a pretty good job on those one-on-one tackle situations.
So 3rd and goal from the 15-yard line. And now whistles blow here again. And we'll see here what we're going to have. I believe it's going to be another penalty. Looking to see where the flag came in.
Did Spanish Fork jump on that play?
It's going to be dead ball, offsides against East. So it's going to back East up 5 more and bring up 3rd and goal from the 20.
So the old offensive offsides instead of a legal procedure gets the East. I don't know if that's a theme, but that's what they called.
You don't see it called too often where someone just lines up.
Offsides.
Yeah. It's just not a penalty you see very often, and now they're going to, I believe, I thought they were going to clarify something there, but they'll keep it back at the 20-yard line. So 3rd down and goal from the 20. Here's the sweep, trying to get the corner. Shaw gets brought down around the 19-yard line. A good pickup right there, as it kind of appeared that their wide receiver right here, and now we're going to see timeout Spanish Fork. Dustin Smith will use one here to at least have a chance with the football back. But now it's going to bring up 4th down, and you have to wonder here if East is in a position where they may have to try to roll the dice and go for it. But you have to think, Chris, they're more of a field goal situation. But if you're not kicking, if your kicking situation isn't good, this would be a rather long field goal.
Well, we've seen Alvarez's leg now 3 times on extra points, and he has one. So I think this is within his range. If you're Spanish Fork, though, got to do everything you can to try and block this. You don't want to go down by 3 possessions.
Carlos Alejandro Alvarez will, it looks like, come on to attempt the field goal. It's going to be around a 37-yard kick or so, ready to go right here. Ready to go right here. As they'll get ready to go here to kick the field goal. 1:01 to play here in the second quarter. If you're the Dons, this would be a big stop if you can make a play here to allow where East wouldn't make the field goal. Dons look like they'll bring a lot of pressure here. Alvarez's kick is up, and it is good. So with 57 seconds to play here in the quarter, it's a 24-7 lead right here for East. East now up 3 scores. But, Chris, when you take a look at it, if you're Spanish Fork, compared to giving up another touchdown, that field goal is big.
Yeah, that's 17. You'll take that over 20 or 21 every day, all day. Now, for East, the only points they've given up is on the lone kick return by Kate Olsen. What are they going to do here? Are they going to kick it away from him? Or are they going to kick it to him again? We'll have to see.
For Spanish Fork, I hope they kick it to Kate Olsen. But the individual of me says I would kick it away from Kate Olsen. But we'll see.
We'll see if we can get anybody to take some bets up here in the booth. But, I think you're right. I don't think anybody's going to bet against you, Ryan.
Kate Olsen and Jace Gunter back deep to receive the kick. And they'll kick it. Kate Olsen will have a shot at it, but it's about 8 yards into the end zone. So 57 seconds to go in the second quarter. Dons have the football at their own 20-yard line. And right here, a lot of things here, Chris. If you're Dustin Smith and Spanish Fork, you're weighing a lot of different options in your head right now. The worst case scenario would be some kind of turnover to give the ball back to East. But in a lot of ways, Chris, you're going to see probably something conservative unless a big play gets broken.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing you got to worry about is the quarterback to center snap exchange was bad on that first drive. You don't want to have a snap go over Stevenson's head.
Ready to go right here for Spanish Fork. Stevenson rolls away, looking downfield. Has a man out there looking for Gunter, and he drops it. It goes incomplete, and that will bring up second down. That was a tough play to come up with in some ways, looking up into the setting sun, but Gunter just couldn't haul that one in, brings up second down.
And great pass by Stevenson that time, and like you said, it just wobbles out of Gunter's hand, but I like them rolling Stevenson out. He's got some wheels on him, and he's turning into quite the dual threat quarterback this season.
Bring up second down and 10 coming up right here for Spanish Fork. 51 seconds to play here in the quarter. Spanish Fork has 1 timeout left as Gunter makes the catch. He's brought down maybe for a yard loss, and that brings up third down, and the Dons going backwards here with under 40 seconds to play. You have to wonder in some ways if it might just be best to let this half end and regroup.
That was a great play by Little of East, making sure that he kind of beat the blocker to the point of attack. And then also that ball, the timing of that was off a little bit because Stevenson had a high throw on that play.
So 3rd down and 11 from the 19-yard line. 11 seconds to play here in the quarter. 3 wide receivers on the field. Here's Joshua Buck right up the middle. Breaks a tackle or two across the 30 to the 37. Has a first down with 1 second on the clock.
They're gonna roll that clock.
Timeout called by Spanish Fork. That's what the signal was right there.
That was a great run by Buck. That time, parting up the middle. Yeah, it's great to see the Dons moving the ball here after such a rough start. They just haven't been able on offense to find their way into the end zone.
So we'll see here. They'll try to, not a lot you can do. You can try the old hook and ladder. You can, and that might be with East. They're going to drop. That may be your best bet, is to try some kind of hook and ladder.
Yeah, well, for East, they're going to have a couple guys about 50 yards downfield. It's very unlikely that you can throw it to the end zone. So hook and ladder, maybe 7 ladders. I don't know what it's going to take to get it to in the end zone, but I'm sure about middle of the field will be wide open.
Back to throw. Stevenson with some time. Has Tenny Worthen. Worthen pitches it to Chase Gunter right along the sideline, and Gunter will be ran out of bounds to end the first half. We've reached halftime here at Spanish Fork. East leading Spanish Fork 24-7 here on Spanish Fork 17. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the halftime festivities here from Spanish Fork High School.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson & Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Hi, welcome to Two Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
At Clegg Auto Body, we pay attention to all the finer details, the small things. You know, a lot of people feel like they want their car quick and fast, but it takes time to get perfection. We work for the customer.
And please welcome to the field your 2021-2022 Las Cholitas drill team. Tonight they are performing their camp dancing team. They are coached by Johnny Holmes, Avery Higginson, Sarah Smith, and Leslie Swanson. Their captains are Haley Campbell, Haley Crowder, Holly Smith, Lenny Smith, and Cadence Nielsen. Give it up for your Las Cholitas. And now, welcome to the field, your Spanish Fork cheerleaders. They will be performing their routine tonight, choreographed by Julia Daly.
Hi, welcome to Two Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport: paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
At Clegg Auto Body, we pay attention to all the finer details, the small things. You know, a lot of people feel like they want their car quick and fast, but it takes time to get perfection. We work for the customer.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson & Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
If you want the real deal, contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
(24-7) lead for East over Spanish Fork at the half. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And right now, this one, when you have a 6 versus a 22 matchup, you kind of wonder in some ways how these games are going to go. And really, when you take a look at this one, just with the way things got started, it was that early momentum that really kind of put East ahead and Spanish Fork behind.
Yeah, and for Spanish Fork, it was a nightmare of a start on special teams, defense, and offense. Really they gave up a big kickoff return that ended with a face mask tackle, and then East is able to march it in with the short field for 7, and then on offense, 2 bad back-to-back snaps on the quarterback to center or center to quarterback exchange, and the one was in the end zone, and Stevenson ended up punting it out to about the 10-yard line or so, and East was able to march that in a couple plays later. So Spanish Forks found themselves in a big deficit, and now they've been trying to dig themselves out ever since as they're down 24-7.
And really, I mean, the big story offensively for Spanish Fork is they've shown glimpses at times, but they haven't been able to put a full drive together. And that's really one of the things you would hope that you could get to start the third quarter to give that defense a rest, because that defense has been on the field so much in the first half.
No, they should have the opportunity. Spanish Fork will receive the kick. I think you got to watch out for an onside kick here from East. East a high team is, they run a pretty basic rushing attack, but they do like to take chances on 4th down and also on special teams at times. So I think Spanish Fork, if they can get a touchdown early in the third quarter, or maybe even hold East scoreless and get a 7-0 advantage, if they can get this into about a 2-possession game heading into the fourth quarter, they still have a shot.
And that's a really key point. This is a kind of a key moment for Spanish Fork, because they have a chance to go in the locker room and say, okay, everything that happened in the first half is over. Now we have a chance to build on that and try to get something going early on.
Yeah, for sure. If you're East here, though, everything's lined up for you. They're running the ball well. Their defense is playing excellent. They gave out that one kickoff return, so they just need to continue their scheme on both offense and defense. And on offense, they're doing an excellent job of snapping the ball and getting a good read on what the defense is giving them. And so, yeah, they're running that clock down almost to 0 seconds on the play clock.
And that's really, you talk about in the second half, Chris, even if you don't have a running clock, but the offense for East is doing that, they're going to take 2-3 minutes at least off the clock by doing that. That's going to limit the number of possessions Spanish Fork has, unless they force a turnover or do something where they're able to steal a possession.
And East really does not turn the ball over that much. Their passing attack is, hey, once in a while we'll have a one-on-one matchup and we'll just throw it really deep. And either our guy's going to get overthrown or catch it, or we'll live for another down. So for Spanish Fork, you got to get East High School off schedule here. You have to have them having 2nd and lawns, 3rd and lawns, and force them to do things that they're not comfortable with. And if they do that, there is a chance that maybe East throws an INT. But their running backs seem to have very good control of the ball, and they're handing it off. They're really not pitching it. And so sometimes with these option teams, when they pitch the ball, you'll see some turnovers that way. But East is really doing a great job of handing the ball up the middle or to the end around guy.
Yeah, I mean, for the winner of this one, they're gonna live to play another week right here, and I mean anytime you never want your season to end, but right here you have a chance to play another week. You have a chance, if you're Spanish Fork, a small potential to have an extra home game. If not, you're going on the road to play Stansbury, and really a good path if you're Spanish Fork. If you can get past this one, you have a much better path. This might be one of the toughest teams that you have in their quadrant.
Yeah, East is a tough team. I mean, and the region they come out of, I believe it's 5, is a very tough region as you look at some of it's mostly the Salt Lake schools. But, this is really a game for Spanish Fork where it's like, we've just made too many mistakes that's really taken us out of this game. It really hasn't been too much that East has done. Really, we knew what we were going to get from East, a lot of running yards and a lot of rushing plays with the pass mixed in here and there. And I think Spanish Fork's defense, for the most part, has done an excellent job. They've just been on the field the entire game.
And that's going to be something to keep an eye on in the second half is if, you're going to get the break from halftime, but in that third and fourth quarter, this is where a running attack like East can start to become very burdensome for a defense because you're saying, okay, we're out there every play and you're getting hit every play and trying to tackle really tough runners.
And there was some really physical blocking going on by East across the board. I mean, even those corners and safeties who usually aren't impacted every play, every other, maybe not, it's not every play, but every other play, one of those safeties is getting blocked,
Let's go ahead if we can pull up the kind of the big picture of the state playoff bracket. Let's go ahead here and let's try to see if we can get some updated scores here in the 5A right here. There's a team from Region 9 still alive in each of these brackets. The one score we do have Springville leading Alta, so in your top left quadrant, the number 1 seed Springville leading Alta 41-7, and I've been told that's gone final. I don't know if that's accurate or not right there, so that would put Springville in to play another home game next week. Timpanogos leading Box Elder in that game right below them, 31-29. So the Timberwolves have a chance, Chris, to get into the state quarterfinals. The other score, Bonneville leading Timpview in the top right quadrant, the leading Timpview 3-0. And then I think those are the only other scores that we have coming in right there. So, and sorry, that's now 7-3 Timpview, by the way.
Well, it's high school football is exciting, and especially if you've got a kid or a family member or you're on the team, if you can make it to Rice-Eccles Stadium, that's some great memories. Maple Mountain made it all the way to, where did they play that? It wasn't Westlake, it was Cedar Valley. Cedar Valley, as it was a COVID year, and they wanted to kind of limit the attendance.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick break here on Spanish Fork 17. When we come back, we'll recap our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game and get you ready for the second half here on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
If you want the real deal, contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Back here at halftime, a 24-7 lead for East over Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. Let's take a look at the Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game.
Yeah, so our first key is gap assignment on defense. So Spanish Fork playing assignment sound football, and I think they've been hit and miss. There have been some 3-and-outs for East. They've had some long runs, so Spanish Fork can definitely improve. Tackling in space, I think they've done a decent job of that. I know they've given up 24 points, but some of that's related to field position. And then establishing the run is it's a D-. They're going to be forced to throw it a lot more here, and I imagine the key for Spanish Fork will be to give Stevenson enough time to throw the ball downfield.
And we'll see. We haven't really seen too many times this year, at least on SFCN, where Spanish Fork has had to kind of spread the ball out and start to throw. most of the time we've seen Spanish Fork really establish the run, Chris, and play from ahead and not be down multiple scores. And so here we'll kind of see what Spanish Fork plays this one here in the second half, but they need some quick scores right here, and I think probably they need to force a turnover as well on defense.
Or get 3 and outs. That's as good as a turnover sometimes, but you can't give up those long 6-minute, 7-minute drives. Yeah, and Spanish Forks, they're 7-2 on the season. They've had a share of the region championship, so they definitely know how to play some big boy football. I mean, they beat Springville, who's the #1 RPI team in the state. So I think Spanish Fork has a decent shot at getting back in this ball game, but being down 17 in 3 possessions, that's going to be tough. So they can't afford to get down by too much more if you're Spanish Fork, and then East can really, as you said, let the air out of the football and run it. And even on a 3 and out, they can take up to 2 minutes off the clock almost.
So Carlos Alejandro Alvarez, the senior kicker, will get ready to kick it away. You're just joining us. East wearing white helmets, white tops, red pants. Spanish Fork in the silver helmets, red tops, and white pants.
Kind of a little offsetting jersey and pants here, the inverse.
So Alvarez will boot this one away, and we're underway here in the third quarter. This one will be returnable for Cade Olsen, who drops the ball, picks it quickly up. Trying to get outside across the 10, breaks one tackle, now gets outside. Cross the 30, trying to beat the kicker and does. Down the sideline, Cade Olsen will take it back to the house, his second kick return for a touchdown in this game. And the Dons have a touchdown.
The fumble on that, holy cow, is Olsen gives us, it's either the peace or the I've done this 2 times sign. I'm going with peace. He seems like a peaceful type of guy, but what a return, and he fumbled it still, which gave East just that much more time to get down there, which almost clogged the middle and allowed him to get to the outside. Holy moly, Ryan, East might want to just stop scoring so they don't get the ball in Olsen's hand.
And that's definitely, I was interested to see, I knew Cade Olsen had the speed, but the only question was the kicker going to get the angle to maybe force Cade Olsen out of bounds? Olsen beat Alvarez to that spot and then took it to the house. Extra point here for Stevenson on its way and through. So a big start for Spanish Fork. That's the points they needed right there to get into the end zone to make it a 24-14 game right now. But now the big question on everybody's mind right here, Chris, is trying to come up with a defensive stop. That's been the challenge tonight for Spanish Fork.
And the 2 times Spanish Fork has scored, it has been off Cade Olsen's kickoff returns, and I'm sure if you asked Coach Smith, would you take that? He'd say yes. The only downside is Spanish Fork's offense has hardly been on the field, and so this defense has to be getting worn out. But this is playoff time. I wouldn't rule out going for an onside kick or maybe trying to get the ball, kick it into a space where a Don can run it down here. So that's something that East probably is talking about because their special teams coach is letting his boys have it over there.
11:18 on the game clock here. Stevenson will get ready to kick it away.
A long kickoff return.
And Stevenson will get ready to kick it away. That just kind of stuck out to me. We'll see here what Stevenson does right here. Back deep is going to be Tione Tausinga, number 7. He's standing back at his own 9-yard line. Stevenson ready to go right here. Kicks this one deep. Tausinga will turn and just watch this one go deep into the end zone. And the ball will come out to the 20-yard line right here for the East Leopards.
Well, East needs to stop kicking to Olsen. I mean, that's the bottom line if they score again. But yeah, Spanish Fork cuts it to a 10-point lead. And like you said, if Spanish Fork can get a turnover, that was one of the things you thought was a key, Ryan. They can get a turnover here. Could really flip the momentum of this ball game on this drive. So this is a crucial drive for both teams.
Amini Amone, number 2, has had a lot of the touches tonight for East. We'll see what the Leopards do on 1st and 10. They give it to Amone up the middle. He spins right into a couple of other Dons. And about 4 Dons getting in on that tackle, but they limit Amone there to just 3.
And the Dons have done a great job at limiting some of these runs. I think they'll take a gain of 3 there, or give up 3 and live to fight on 2nd and 7. But it's just been those big chunk runs where East all of a sudden gets 10, 9, 11, yard carry after carry. So if the Dons can stop them here on 2nd down and make it a little bit of more of a challenge on 3rd down, I think that would be ideal.
2nd down and 7, ball on the 23-yard line. Here's a give up the middle. Tafisi has the carry. Gets a couple of yards to the 26-yard line, but it's going to put East in about a 3rd and about 4 coming up.
3rd and 4, and I imagine East is going to keep it on the ground here. They've been running it up the middle. I wouldn't be shocked if they went to that end-around play that we saw that they had quite a bit of success on there. So they'll be up to most likely Peary and Pepper to try and cut that off.
Spanish Fork loading the box right here. Frederick goes in motion, number 16. Here's the give up the middle. Amone is going to have the 1st down. Still on his feet across the 35-yard line or so. And he's not going to go down until he's about the 36 or so. And a 1st down there for East.
Oh, it was an excellent 2nd and 3rd effort by Amone there. It looked like he was going to get stopped short, and then he scored it a couple of yards ahead, and then about another 5 yards in a 3rd effort.
And East has a fresh set of downs, and kind of like Chris mentioned, there's a 40-second play clock on most plays in between. And so you look at it for 3 downs. If you're taking 40 seconds, that's close to 2 minutes off the clock each time you get a 1st down. Time is almost like an extra defender for if you're East. Give straight up the middle. Tafisi keeps it. Nope, they pitch it outside. Amone's got it, breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet, and he's going to have a 1st down across the 46 to almost, I think it's going to be between the 47 and 48-yard line right there. I thought they had given it to Tafisi, but the triple option there fooled me. And that's enough for a 1st down for East.
And Amone, once he gets that momentum and gets going, he's hard to bring down. So I like getting him the ball in space. That was a great call by the East team right there.
1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. East with the football. Spanish Fork, the defense working hard, trying to come up with a stop. Here's Tafisi this time. He does have the carry to the Spanish Fork 48 or so, a pickup of 3, maybe 4.
And that's the tough thing, is really giving it to the fullback. Tafisi sets up pitches to Amone, sets up the quarterback to keep the ball. So lots of weapons in this rushing attack for East. The home run hitter, though, is Amone, number 2.
We've seen a couple of those big plays, not necessarily a big play, but maybe a medium-sized play with 24 and a 31-yard touchdown run in the contest. There's a give up the middle this time. Spanish Fork in pursuit. Amone still thinking he didn't go down, but they'll call him down back at the line of scrimmage.
He might not have went down, but they stopped his momentum that time, and great job by those linebackers and defensive line. It's hard to see who's making tackles on these plays. It's just looking like a mosh pit of people. It's like so really it's we're used to more of these spread offenses where we can kind of see what's going on.
A little more one-on-one, maybe 2-on-1, trying to make the tackle.
Looks like East is also loading the box when on some of these plays. Sometimes nobody split out.
Right here, 3rd and 7, ball on the 49-yard line. On the sweep, this is number 22, and that is Sione Balihi there on the carry, number 22, and that's going to be well short. Brings up 4th down and about 4 coming up. And we'll see, but it looks like East may send on Amini Amone, their punter right here, and look to push back Spanish Fork. Now, big thing to remember is Amini Amone has been the starting running back, and so you have to kind of wonder if at some point you may not see them try to fake it this time. Amone will kick this one inside the 20. Darian Harrison fumbles. Ball's loose. It's picked up by Harrison. Harrison will return it. A penalty flag is thrown. right around the 22-yard line, and Spanish Fork catches a must-needed break right there of being able to recover that fumble.
Yeah, well, it's like Traeger looked pretty guilty after that, so I don't know if that was a block in the back that they got on him.
We'll see here as they sort out the penalty. Right here. We'll see. They're going to mark it off against East. So it's a personal foul face mask against the Leopards. So Spanish Fork catches another break, and the ball is pushed out to the 38-yard line right here for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, plenty of time, 6:43. Due to the Dons, you can still mix in the run and the pass. There's no reason to abandon handing the ball off to Reed or Buck at this point. And if you're East, it seems like the momentum might have shifted a little bit there with that penalty, because obviously they punted to pin Spanish Fork back, and that was not the case after the penalty.
Ready to go right here. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Stevenson throws that one intended for Tenny Worthen. It goes incomplete.
Tenny Worthen doesn't catch, and Chase Barker was in coverage, and it looks like Spanish Fork has targeted him as the corner that they're looking to go after this evening. So 2nd and 10 here for Spanish Fork. They got the opening kickoff, cut the lead to 10 here with Cade Olsen, and he's lined up on the near side of your screen as the wideout.
2nd down and 10 coming up. Stevenson gives it to Joshua Buck, and Buck is chased down in the backfield by Benjamin Roberts, and that will bring up 3rd down and 10 coming up. A passing situation for the Dons.
And they're bringing in Rapina, most likely probably going to line up in the shotgun with him in the backfield to block for Olsen. So I wouldn't be surprised if they roll him out to try and give him as much time as possible, with Rapina blocking on that far side. Actually, he's lining up in the slot.
Ready to go right here. 3rd down and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. Rapina goes in motion. They're going to pitch it back. Gunter on a reverse, trying to get outside, cuts it up, and he's going to lose about 4, maybe 5 yards right there. That East pursuit just able to get him and push Gunter backwards. It brings up 4th and very long for the Dons.
Yeah, it looked like they might be trying to set up the pass on that play, but like you said, East got in the backfield really fast. Credit them. These guys from East are doing a great job of pursuing the ball.
They fly to the football, and that's what makes it tough trying to run outside against them.
Yeah, and they tried the misdirection. Hey, we know they're great at running the football. Let's try the old reverse, and it just didn't pan out because of the team's speed.
Stevenson into punt, kicks it away from his 25-yard line. Tausinga will get away from it. It takes a good Spanish Fork bounce and still rolls inside the 20 down to about the 14-yard line. So a great punt by Austin Stevenson definitely flips the field. With 5:05 to play in the 3rd quarter, the ball is given back to the East Leopards deep inside their own territory. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible here this evening for high school football in Spanish Fork 17. We got Mikkel Thompson and Hunter, attorneys at law, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, the Driggs Mortgage Team, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, Clegg Auto, and Two Jacks Pizza. We thank them for making this broadcast possible. We want to remind you, you can catch replays of this game and our many other shows and SF17 sports broadcasts on youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. 1st and 10 for the Leopards as Shea gets the carry there, number 33. And he loses there he's going to lose a yard or so there on 1st down.
Reed flew into the backfield that time and made the tackle. This Spanish Fork defense been on the field a long time, but they are still grinding the axe, if you will, out there.
2nd down and 11 coming up. 4:34 to play here in the 4th quarter. This is where that clock can move very quickly right here. If you're Spanish Fork, multiple 1st downs here potentially could run out the time here in the 3rd quarter. Ready to go right here. There's the pitch outside, no pitch, up the middle and into some space. On the carry is going to be the quarterback, Siona Vahahi, who's brought down inside the 30, down at about the 25-yard line, and that's the first time we've seen Siona break through today. They've been pitch, pitch, pitch all night, and this time, Chris, he keeps it.
And just out of the outstretched arms of Rapena that time, and Tregeser, turns out he's the fastest guy in the field as he has a touchdown-saving tackle at the tail end of that play.
So the Leopards have flipped the field position as the ball is put now on the Spanish Fork 26-yard line.
And that was a huge run that time, and East is back in business. They're probably already in field goal range.
Leopards driving right here as they give it to Amone up the middle. He's got a couple of blockers, has a first down inside the 20, and no, he may not have a first down. He's going to be close to the marker. We'll see where they mark it, and it's going to be second and about a yard.
Yeah, sometimes I'd prefer, if I was coaching, that have the team get the first down, and so that you have that 4 downs to stop them from getting 10 instead of, hey, they almost got a free play here on 2nd and 1 down in the red zone.
2nd down and 1 from the 17. East needs the 16-yard line for a first down. I formation. Little in motion. Here's Amone. Cuts back. Has the first down. Inside the 15 to right around the 10-yard line or so. And that's another first down for the East Leopards.
And that's what East does, is they run it up the middle, and eventually they slip a tackle, and they have a huge play like we saw in that play 3 plays ago from Valhalla. So
right here, 1st and goal from the 9. 2:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter. This is one thing that Chris mentioned at halftime. 40-second play clock. East is using, they're right now just at 9. Just breaking the huddle. You gotta hurry. 3 on the play clock, and they'll get it off. Here's Amone up the middle, inside the 5, down to about the 2. He tried to stretch for the goal line, but he's gonna be brought down short.
That's a little dangerous when you're down at 3 stretching for the goal line, because chances are your arms aren't 9 feet long.
They'll mark him down at the 3. Brings up 2nd and goal. This is really where, Chris, this offense favors a team like East. If you're playing from the lead, this offense is great. The triple option. Ready to go. Here's Amone trying to get in, trying to get across, and he's in. Touchdown. Amini Amone, his 3rd of the ball game, and it's a 30-14 lead for East.
Yeah, the hat trick for Amone there, and it's what really helps in this offense is when you can just hand it straight up the middle to the fullback.
So that will send in Carlos Alejandro Alvarez for the point after touchdown try, the senior kicker, ready to come on the field. 1:44 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Spanish Fork will get the football, but the Dons are going to be almost in a must-score situation. Alvarez on for the point after touchdown try. Snap good, hold good, kick is good, but there's a penalty flag that's been thrown. So we'll wait and see here what the penalty's going to be. The teams are heading off the field, so I'm pretty sure whatever it is, it will be tacked on to the kickoff.
A long discussion out there on the field, and just waiting to see if it's 30 or we're going to replay it, 30 or 31. We'll give them 31 as that's up on the scoreboard. This is taking quite a bit, so they must be looking in the old pamphlet to see what they should do on this situation. Don't see a lot of penalties on extra point attempts.
Definitely want to thank our SF17 crew that's here with us, and Travis Bourne back in the studio, him and his wife Emily. They have their wedding anniversary coming up on Sunday, on Halloween. So wish them a happy anniversary. Travis does a lot of different things here for the station. You've probably seen him at many of our SF17 events they're covering. The extra point will be good. After the play, it will be a personal foul against Spanish Fork, and that's going to be enforced on the kickoff. So East will kick off from the Spanish Fork 45.
So it's 31-14. The Dons down by 17. That means they have to score 3 times to win this ball game and or tie it up. So we'll see what East does here, but Spanish Fork is not. They've had some pretty good plays on offense, but the difference between East and Spanish Fork tonight is East is stringing multiple big plays together. Now, this is the second time we've had the kickoff at the 45 on the plus side of the field.
And this,
do you think they'll kick it to Olsen here?
I think they're going to kick it as deep as they can here. But who knows?
You should get an extra point if you can make the kickoff. That would, make the personal foul penalty that much more punitive. And that was well offside.
Kick this one deep. A penalty now. This is going to back up East as Parrott's going to be at offsides. And so now they'll kick off again, this time from midfield.
I think that was on 44. He's coming out of the game. Roberts that time was 17 yards down the field when that ball got kicked, so he was excited. Maybe it wasn't 17. We'll only give him he was like 4 yards offside.
But 4 in that situation,
it was pretty obvious.
You have one job really in that situation, and that is to make sure you're not offsides. And so 4 yards really can appear like it's 17.
And maybe Matic on the other side is like, you know what I'm doing here is I'm faking you guys out so that I can go for the onside kick after a 5-yard penalty. I don't know.
We'll see what happens right here as Alvarez will get ready to kick it away. This one may go deep. This one may go, and it will go deep and into the end zone for a touchback. So a minute 44 to go here in the third. Spanish Fork gets the football, Chris. If you're, let's play offensive coordinator. What are you drawing up here if you're the Dons?
Pass. No. So obviously, you're going to have to mix in some running plays here, but if I'm Spanish Fork, you almost have to try and get Olsen or Gunter or one of those excellent wideouts in space and try and make up some of these points in a hurry, because I don't think you're going to want to put your defense out there too many more times. And when the defense is out, so I'm almost onside kicking it. I'm going Arkansas high school football rules at this point.
Penalty flags go here before the ball snapped. And that's one thing, Chris, you talked about. Great to get the 2 touchdowns from Kate Olsen on the kick returns. You'll take any points you can get them if you're Spanish Fork, but the negative side of that is your defense was on the field, they're off the field for one play and back on the field. We'll see here what it'll be a false start indicated against the Dons, so we'll back up Spanish Fork here on 1st and 10 to 1st and 15.
So Orem and East are on the opposite side of the brackets. Wouldn't that be something if they met in the championship game, the first ever 22nd versus, I think, 21 seed?
That's what, and that, in the RPI system, it's hard because obviously you want a system that kind of works all the way around the board. As Austin Stevenson gets ready to go. Straight up the middle, cutting it back. Fumble, ball's loose, picked up by East. Tausinga has it inside the 10. He's brought down at the 5. And it's 1st and goal Leopards with a minute 37 left in the third.
And they're all fired up here, East is, and they deserve to. They've played an excellent football game. And, that's second time they'll start inside the 10-yard line. And the way they run this offense, they're going to most likely get it a couple of yards up the middle. They hand it to the fullback, so it's going to be tough for the Dons to keep him out here from the 5.
Because we've seen playoff qualification, Chris, go both ways. We've had this RPI system. We've had it where the top 4 have made it from your region. And I don't think there's a perfect system. But it seems like the RPI system can be kind of tough to really figure out who those top teams are, as right there, getting there, Curtis Hernandez on the 2 Jacks Pizza quarterback sack.
Yeah, you're right. There's this. I like kind of the RPI system. I think it might need some tweaks. It allows more teams opportunities to have a playoff game. I like that, but there's got to be a different strength of schedule component. Some of these teams play really tough 6A schools, and then all of a sudden now it's unfair to somebody that's maybe won a region that they're playing somebody that's doesn't have as high a seed.
Second down and goal from the 8-yard line. Here's the give straight up the middle. Shea breaks one tackle, but he then gets brought down around the 3, and it's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 3.
Yeah, in the old system, East would not have made the playoffs. I mean, they were 5th place, so
they would have gone top 4 is what they had generally done in the past. Potentially had a play-in game if you tied with somebody.
Wow, they went 3-3 in Region 6. That tells you how tough that region is.
Under center, ready to go right here. The give. Amone turns, goes in. Touchdown East with Amini Amone for the 4th time in the ballgame.
And that guy's probably well over 1,600 yards rushing. He came into this game with 1,500 on the season. Now he can add 4 touchdowns. What a huge night for him.
So 37-14 extra point. Alvarez will get ready to kick it away, or kick the extra point right here. Snap good, hold good, kick is up and good. So 15 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. It's a 38-14 lead for East on top of Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens and Chris Hurst here with you. And boy, what a football season we've had, Chris, throughout the year. We had a really fun schedule this year. Lots of really great games with that. Good to see Spanish Fork get off to such a great start this year. And a great season and a good building block year, I would say. Maybe better than building block year for Dustin Smith.
The tough thing about some of these high school programs, though, is you're reliant on the next class. Last year, Maple Mountain had a great season, made it all the way to the Final Four before losing Tyler Nelson, their quarterback, to an injury. And so they were down this year, so you can only play the kids in your program. So if you're Spanish Fork, though, I think Dustin Smith has, shown what he can do as a quarterback guru. He took Stevenson, who wasn't expected to play much this season, and he's done some excellent things with him. You could see the improvement with Stevenson. And for Spanish Fork, got to be excited. Employee number 29. Well, I guess he's not an employee. Student number 29. Buck will be back next year, so he's had over 1,000 yard rushing himself on the season.
Ready to go right here with the kickoff. And this one will go to Jace Gunter. They're, I think, pretty much kicking away from Cade Olsen at this point as this one goes into the end zone. Ball will come out to the 20-yard line for the Dons.
Yeah, so for the Dons, it's the fat lady's probably warming up, but she hasn't started the scene yet, so they're down by 24. That's still a 3-possession game, but you have to make all 3 of your 2-point conversions if you go for it. So I think they've got to score in a hurry, and then they're going to need some help with either turnovers or some 3-and-outs from the defensive side.
First down and 10 coming up right here. Stevenson in motion, Jace Gunter in motion. They'll pitch it outside. Taysom Reed cuts it back up the middle, breaks one tackle, still on his feet, fighting ahead for a couple of extra yards right there for a tough gain of 3 or 4, and that's how the 3rd quarter will come to an end. We've reached the end of 3, East 38, Spanish Fork 14. You're watching high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson & Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
At Clegg Auto Body, we pay attention to all the finer details, the small things. A lot of people feel like they want their car quick and fast, but it takes time to get perfection. We work for the customer.
Start of the fourth quarter here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. It's a 38-14 lead for East. Spanish Fork has the football at their own 24-yard line. 2nd down and 6 for the Dons. Stevenson gives it right up the middle to Tayson Reed, and Reed will fight ahead for 2 or 3 more out to about the 27.
Yeah, great run. It's just Reed's been running tough tonight. It's just it's a little too late, possibly. So for Spanish Fork, it looks like they're setting up the pass here on 3rd down, but maybe also playing not to just get completely blown out.
3rd down and about 3 to go from the 27. Ready to go. Stevenson back to throw. Pressure comes. Gets rid of it down the field. Has Cade Olsen who makes the catch at the 42. Olsen pulled down from behind at around the 28-yard line. And again, it's Cade Olsen that makes the big offensive play for Spanish Fork, and he's definitely making a push for the MVP Sports MVP of the game.
Well, he's almost got 300 yards of total offense. He's got 2 kickoff returns of 95-plus yards. I don't know exactly where he caught those from, but a big pass play right there. And Spanish Fork can score in a hurry here now that they're down on the plus side of the field.
Ready to go. Stevenson back to throw with some time. Taking a shot, looking for Jace Gunter. Gunter looked over the wrong shoulder and couldn't come up with it. Gunter, I think, turned one way and the ball was to the other shoulder and just couldn't quite hang in.
He had his head on a swivel and just didn't know which side to look at. Kind of an awkward spot to catch it. But that was open that time.
So it brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's like A.J. Green last night in the Thursday night football game where he didn't even look for that interception. I don't know if you caught the tail end of that game, but
I didn't.
That was an awkward-looking pass and interception.
2nd down and 10 coming up. 4 wide receivers for the Dons right here. They need a quick touchdown if they're going to try to chip back into this one. Stevenson back to throw, has Tenny Worthen on the slant. That's caught by Worthen. It's going to be close to a 1st down, but I think he's going to be about a half yard short. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and less than a yard.
3rd and less than 1 here. Don's going no huddle.
Joshua Buck, the running back, right next to Austin Stevenson. Don's inside the Driggs Mortgage Team red zone. Norris goes in motion number 10. Stevenson on the keeper, has a 1st down. Takes a tough hit right around the 15-yard line or so. They'll mark him to the 16. And that's a fresh set of downs for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, finally brought down by big number 65 Fiona that time.
And right here, ready to go. 1st and 10 from the 16. Austin Stevenson, you see him making a adjustment with his helmet, comes over to get the play call. Dons have to hurry, 14 on the play clock. Under 10 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Stevenson ready to go with 4 wide receivers. Tayson Reed and Joshua Buck both in the game. They'll throw here. That one's almost intercepted. Penalty flag comes in as they try to get the ball to Cade Olsen, and that was, I believe, Spencer Black, number 18. And we'll see here what the official call is going to be.
The secondary seems like if they put one hand on anybody, it gets called, and it's probably the right call. But, man, it's tough to defend the pass.
We'll see here as they sort out the penalty right here. Trying to see here, and it looks like it will be. East is backing up, so I think at one point they thought something against Spanish Fork, but we pass interference against East, and that will give them an automatic 1st down.
It's also stops the clock.
Ready to go right here. On the reverse, Jace Gunter. Stevenson lays a block. Gunter throws, has a man, caught, touchdown. Spanish Fork in the back of the end zone. I believe that's Brenner Shepard, number 2.
A great pass by Gunter. They tried that play earlier and just didn't have enough time. That time it looked like they went even deeper on the reverse to try and allow more time. A great block by Stevenson.
That was really the big play in there. It was Austin Stevenson hitting a block, I believe, on Tausinga, number 7 for East. And a big touchdown right there. And now Spanish Fork lining up. It looks like the Dons are going to go for 2 right here.
You got to at this point in the ball game. And the reason is it's
It's an 18-point game, so I guess if you get 2, you get it down to
16. So you only have to score 2 more times.
Sometimes the 2-point conversion, Chris, is the toughest part, though, of being able to score.
Yeah, you can get 2 yards most of the time, right?
Stevenson rolls away, looking, has a man in there. It goes incomplete. There's a penalty flag that gets thrown. The Dons are happy with that.
Is it after the play, though? Is it going to be incomplete?
That's what we'll have to wait and see. It does look like, from the appearance of East, that it might be after the play. The officials are going to have to discuss this right here, because this is a big call in the ball game. If it goes after the play, there's also, it looks like, an injury.
It's Gunter that's down.
Gunter down in the end zone.
Yeah, they honored Rory Irene in between the 3rd and 4th quarter. Now he's out on the field again.
So we'll see what happens here with 9:41 to go right here. Rory Irene, a longtime trainer here at Spanish Fork, has done a great job for many years in taking care of the athletes here at Spanish Fork.
Trying to get everybody off the field, as I think there's been some words.
Right here. Both coaches immediately getting their teams to the sideline right here. And now both coaches are being pulled together. So you see Dustin Smith there, and then Brandon Mattich on the other side right here. Now they're both talking. Both coaches are talking. They're going to kind of finish this up right here, and we'll kind of break things up here a little bit, and probably just reminding the coaches, this thing got chippy a little bit even before the game when East had taken the field for warm-ups. I never heard exactly everything that happened, but enough to know that it got chippy.
Yeah, let's see if we can get what the official says.
On the defense, against the defenseless player. We have the distance to the goal. Replay 2-point try.
So they're going to replay the 2-point try. They'll move it half a distance to the goal. That's a hit on a defenseless player.
Yeah, I don't know. That was about the best the announcement sounded all night, at least in our mic. So hopefully that got caught on at home. But I'm guessing Gunter got hit a little bit late in the head, and it's been a chippy game. Spanish Fork got a little bit of a police escort onto the field to start this thing, and then they've made sure that they went into the locker room at the half at different times. So be curious to see what happens during the handshake.
It might be. I don't know if we'll. I don't know if it's one of those things where you may not
shake hands.
Maybe not shake hands. I don't know. Maybe wave across the field. I don't know. To see, I've never had that happen before at my time here at SFCN, to see a pregame scuffle or anything like that. You don't see that too often, even at high levels of football. And so Spanish Fork's going to go for 2 right here again.
Do the old COVID wave tonight.
Here's Reed, breaks one tackle, looking for the end zone, and Reed is going to come up just short. He's going to be a half a yard short from getting in.
And that was close. Great defensive effort that time, because Reed gave it all he had to get in the end zone.
And with 9:41 to go, Spanish Fork almost really has to in a lot of ways, Chris. Onside kick right here.
Yeah, 9:41 down by 18. They still have to score 3 times. That's what was so big. I mean, it is about next to impossible to get 3 2-point conversions in a row. So, you got to try it. but I don't think it was out of the question that they were going to have to score 3 more times.
Well, you have the game last week to win 9 overtimes, so, in college football. But they alternate 2-point conversions. But
we don't want to go very many overtimes anymore, so our solution is to do alternating 2-point conversions, and then all of a sudden they set the record. I like the NFL's overtime. If you kick a field goal, then the other team gets a chance. If you score a touchdown, the game's over. The only tweak I think they might want to make is if both teams, allow the other team to try and match with the touchdown. But then, maybe you make both teams go for 2-point conversions or something like that.
And that's definitely that's the same kind of thing that I've thought about too. Is if you score the touchdown, I'd like to see the other team have a chance.
Well, at least we don't end in ties.
Stevenson will kick this one away. Don's going for the onside kick. And the ball is loose, and East, I believe, got back on it. Spanish Fork's pointing that they got it.
I don't know if it went 10 yards.
And it's gonna be Spanish. It's gonna be East football. They're pointed. It's East football. The official pointing in the direction of East.
The officials are arguing.
And now it's Spanish Fork football.
Very, very confused ref. I don't know if he just pointed the wrong way, and everybody's like.
I think he may have pointed East and said Spanish Fork because immediately the East players were saying, hey, wait, no.
All right, well, that's tough to get an onside kick, and the Dons were able to do that as we see Stevenson getting some words of advice from Coach Smith down there.
So now Spanish Fork with the football right at midfield, 9:41 to go, and back in the position of saying we need a touchdown.
And they had a huge pass play from Stevenson to Olsen on that last drive. So I think East might want to soften that coverage and keep things in front of them because they're allowing people to get behind the safeties.
Ready to go right here. 1st and 10 Dons.
Still loading up the box for East so the back is open.
Stevenson sends Worthen in motion. Worthen rolls away, looking to throw. Worthen looking for Olsen. That one goes incomplete. A penalty flag comes in. And this, I think, is going to be a pass interference against Talsinga.
And that's been the one weakness of East is their defenders are hands-on bunch, so they're getting a ton of pass interference called on them. There's some discussion. They might waive this one off, but
I think what's tough with that one for pass interference, Chris, is if you look at the throw from Tenny Worthen.
It's behind.
It's behind him, and that puts the defender in a tough spot.
And it might have been uncatchable. It was so far behind. So offsetting penalties, a hold against the Dons, a pass interference against East, and they'll replay the down right here. It's an interesting one. You have a 10-yard penalty versus a 15-yard penalty. Kind of a math person. I don't know if you know this, Ryan, but I think that should add up to 5 yards going one direction. But the football gods have decided otherwise.
We'll see what happens right here. I could see them doing that if the penalty's, 15 each way. That would make sense to me that they would be offsetting. Kate Olsen in motion. Stevenson has to pick up the football. Runs towards the east sideline. Gets hit out of bounds. Well, gets sent into the track area on the other side. I think that some Spanish Fork fans, were wondering about some kind of roughing the passer or something. He was in the field of play when he got hit.
Yeah, Stevenson went a long ways, but I think that's because he slipped when he got to the sideline, and then you don't want to stop fast on a track. Trust me on that with cleats.
I've never done it, so I'll take your word for it, Chris.
I've never successfully done it. I fell at Tippview's track back in the day when I hit it trying to run out of bounds or get off the field. I just kept going and then hit the track and then landed on my butt.
Loss of 6 yards right there for Stevenson. 2nd and 16. Blitz comes. Screen pass. Batted away, but caught. Tayson Reed trying to do something. Lunges forward there. Ends up getting only losing a couple of more yards, but the Dons still going backwards.
Yeah, and watch the hands here, number 44. That is the second time he's batted a pass just by sticking his hands up, and that's Benjamin Roberts. And that really just disrupted the timing of the screen pass. They had the right play call, but Roberts putting his paw on that disrupts the play.
3rd down and 19 to go. Dons have the football at their own 41-yard line. Spanish Fork needs a big first down right here. They're definitely probably in 2-down territory at this point. Stevenson rolls away from the pressure, throws downfield, has a man, Cade Olsen, close. East trying to say incomplete, and they're going to rule it incomplete, brings up 4th down.
I think he dropped it on the outside. Olsen did by trying to keep his feet in bounds there.
And the Dons will send on the punting unit here, it looks like.
And this is just, hey, we're down by 18. We don't want to give East a great field. We're going to trust our defense can make a play, whether it's a turnover or not. It's really tough to pick up 4th and 19, 4th and 18.
Ready to go right here as Stevenson will be the punter. He's standing at his own 30. Tausinga back deep to receive for East. Tausinga wearing number 7. Has been playing a lot of safety tonight. This time he'll get a chance to return this one from his own 17. Cuts up the middle of the field, and it's brought down around the 26-yard line. A good tackle there by the Dons. I believe it was number 22, Ammon Anderson, on the tackle right there. And a nice open field special teams tackle with 8:23 to go in the 4th quarter, Chris. Ball back to East, and this is where East can really run a lot of time off the clock.
They can. So if you're the Dons, you got to try and figure out how to get off the field in a hurry here. Time is of the essence. But for East, yeah, they've done a great job of running the ball here. Have they even completed a pass tonight? I don't know. I don't think they have, and they haven't had to because of this ground attack and this defense for Spanish Fork's got to be getting a little bit tired. So we'll see if they have one more push left in them.
1st and 10. Here's the give right up the middle. Amone still shedding tacklers, and then they'll stop his forward progress right around the 32-yard line, but a pickup of about 5 with 8:10 to play in the 4th quarter.
A 2nd down and 5 here for the Leopards. So for Spanish Fork, you just got to keep blitzing those gaps. I would sell out on the run. I don't think East is even going to threaten throwing it downfield with the lead and how well they've been running it. So you can say, hey, don't even worry about covering a guy. I don't think it's going to happen.
Whistles blow right here, and we may have, it looks like it's going to be a false start against East right here with 7:36 to go here in the 4th quarter. So I think they got number 76, Hilario Garcia.
They'll brings it back to the original set of downs here.
And I probably got the wrong number on that, but
we apologize if you didn't jump offside.
2nd and 10 coming up. Biggest thing for East right now, the clock running. Right up the middle right here. Bouncing it outside, Amone. And he's going to get across the 30. He'll stay in bounds right there. Brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, Amone out there doesn't look like the tallest guy, but, man, he's got some speed, and he does not go down easy. Similar to the running backs for Spanish Fork. I think you could plug in Tayson Reed or Joshua Buck on that other side, and they'd do pretty well for a team like East.
3rd down and 8 coming up. Ball on the 31-yard line. So this is one of those passing situations that you would generally see right here. And now timeout called by the Leopards, I believe.
He never signaled the direction.
Just called timeout. They charged it to the Leopards, though, on the scoreboard. That's all I can really go on. I didn't see Spanish Fork calling it. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors here one final time tonight on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah, we got Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikhail Thompson Hunter, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, Clegg Auto, the Driggs Mortgage Team, and our favorite pizza place, Two Jacks Pizza. We'd like to thank them for sponsoring this broadcast.
3rd down and 7, maybe 8 coming up right here for East. As it's been a pleasure all year to be with you here on Spanish Fork 17 for high school football. Each year seems like it goes faster and faster, Chris.
You're not a kidding.
Ready to go right here. 3rd down, and they're going to say 8. Back to throw with some time. They set up the screen pass. Amone bobbles it, then hauls it in. Takes a hit from Darian Harrison out of bounds. Believe he's going to be short of the yard to gain, but it's going to bring up 4th down and just a couple.
Hey, looks like Amone stepped out well before Harrison hit it based on where they're marking it.
So it'll be 4th down and about 5. East lines up like they're going to go for it right here. Leopards going quickly, man in motion.
I think they're trying to get him to jump. They're going to probably let this clock get down to 0.
The clock is stopped right now, but we'll see here. Now they've looked back over.
I don't know why you would run this other than try and draw them off sides.
And now instead it looks like East.
I'm 90% sure East was not going to run a play there, and they were going to call a timeout when the play clock got down to 0. Instead, it fooled their own offensive line.
And now they'll have to punt as Amone will drop back to punt. Kate Olsen will drop back to receive the punt here for Spanish Fork.
And he's electric. He's had 2 returns for touchdowns on the kickoffs.
A little line drive punt. Kate Olsen sprints over. I think he was trying to see if he could sprint over and pick it up quickly, but it will roll out of bounds at the 35-yard line for Spanish Fork, and with 6:15 to go in the 4th quarter, the Dons will get another possession. Down by 18. Not impossible. Going to be extremely difficult, Chris, but not mathematically impossible.
No, it's not. But you're going to have to – Spanish Fork's already recovered 1 onside kick. They're probably going to have to recover at least 1 more. They got their full allotment of timeouts still, I believe. So, but, obviously not the ideal situation. And if you're East, you got to keep everything in front of you. Don't give up that big play here. Finish strong.
Ready to go right here. 1st down and 10. Ball on the 35-yard line. Ready to go right there. Back to throw. Taking a shot deep. That pass is going to be almost, and it's going to go incomplete. I thought it was going to be intercepted. It was a leaping attempt from Jared Frederick. He almost came up with the interception, but it goes incomplete to bring up 2nd down.
And I think both Olsen and Frederick were going for the ball, and Olsen just got it in the way just enough of the safety that time to get the incomplete pass.
Ready to go right here. 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 35-yard line. 6:09 to go, 4th quarter. Spanish Fork trying to chip back into this. Trying to chip back into this lead right here. Stevenson with the football. Back to throw. Rolls away. Pressure now gets away from the East pressure. Takes a shot downfield looking for Kate Olsen. And Olsen is able to make the catch. The question is, was he in or out? East is trying to say he was out, but they're going to mark the ball down at the 25-yard line, and it appears it's going to be a catch for Kate Olsen.
If he was out of bounds, it's because he had help. There probably should have been a pass interference call prior to this. There was all sorts of grabbing, but it does look like he was on the left side on your screen of the white line there on our replay.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Back to throw. Stevenson with some time. Taking a shot. Looking for Brenner Shepard. That one goes incomplete. Shepard almost had that one there. And if he's able to make that catch, Chris, you have to think he gets in for a touchdown. But goes incomplete. Brings up 2nd down.
And there's been a couple of unfortunate drops for this Dons team tonight. That's That's not the first one. But, battling to the end, the Dons look like they could have folded up on this one, and I guess that's why they're 7-2. They've, lost a couple of games, but have always been willing to battle in all of them.
2nd down and 10, ball on the 25-yard line, 5 wide receivers. East making some adjustments defensively. Stevenson, quarterback draw play. He'll get a yard, maybe 2. Straight forward. Roberts in there on the tackle for East.
Yeah, Roberts celebrates the big tackle. The clock keeps running. I don't mind that play call of a changeup because East has done a great job of trying to get to the edges, and sometimes that leaves the open, the middle of the field open for the quarterback to rush, but just didn't work out that time.
3rd down and 8 coming up. 4 wide receivers ready to go. Back to throw. Stevenson with some time. Stepping up, taking a shot, looking for Olsen. Tausinga battles with him, and the ball is going to be intercepted by Tausinga in the end zone. Tione Tausinga with the INT, and that will end the Dons' drive.
Yeah, Tausinga with a great play. Olsen's obviously upset. I mean, these Dons have given their heart to the season, and that's one where it's just a tough loss here to this East team. If East is able to hang on, which the probability of Spanish Fork winning this game continues to drop. So if you're East, you just got to think, okay, we got to get probably 3 first downs. Run the play clock. I guess unless you get a first down on too many first downs on first down.
Ready to go. 1st and 10 coming up here for East. And I think Brandon Matic may have called a timeout.
Can't take them with you.
So Leopards are down to 1 timeout with 5:14 to go right here. This would appear, unless Spanish Fork wins, that this may be our last, would be our last high school football broadcast of the year. It's been great being with everybody all season long. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, when we first talked back in August, with everything that we knew about Spanish Fork, Zach Dart going down, did you picture a 7-2, 7-3 type year? Whenever you lose your senior quarterback, that usually is a game changer for the entire program.
Well, yeah, we didn't know what to expect with Stevenson, and I thought honestly they'd probably finish 3rd or 4th in region, and ended up finding a way to win it with co-champions with Springville. So I think the Spanish Fork program's made some great strides. It's, can you do that? Can you capitalize on that next year? We've seen Springville's as Rapena's down, and that's not good to see for Spanish Fork's defensive line that's played tough tonight. Rapena, a junior, Buck, a junior. There's going to be some guys coming back next year for Spanish Fork, but at the end of the day, I think it's been fun watching the Dons play. This stadium's fantastic. If you haven't gotten the chance to get out here, hopefully by the time August 2022 rolls around, there'll be even less concerns with COVID. That's one thing. If you'd asked me, hey, how's the season going to go for the 2 teams we cover, Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork, and be like, is any of the games going to be canceled because of COVID? What's the situation going on with that? The first week of school, I got like 3 notices that my kids had been exposed to COVID at school. I'm like, oh, geez. But it seems like that's kind of not affected high school football like it did last year.
Last year, numerous cancellations and things like that, players that weren't available due to quarantine and things like that. But when you look at this year, I would say I heard of maybe maybe 2 or 3 games throughout the whole state that got canceled due to COVID. But when you really take a look at this, you have to credit Dustin Smith and his coaching staff, because sometimes in high school football, you're dealt situations that you can't even imagine, and then you have to just kind of try to work through that, Chris.
Yeah.
And that's really what this team had to do this year, was when they had injuries or when things weren't going their way, the Dons had to just find a way to make it work, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, for sure. And, you can see what Coach Smith's wanting to do with the kind of the offense here and how far Stevenson came this season. He got a 1,000-yard rusher. And Rapinu's been down for a little bit, and that's always makes you a little bit worried.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see as well when you take a look at it. Is you talk about sustaining short-term success, looks a lot different than sustaining long-term success and things like that. Dustin Smith brings some consistency to the Spanish Fork program, and that really can change things for a lot of players. But I like the point you brought up a minute ago. When you start looking at the players coming back, you bring back Tenny Worthen, you bring back Joshua Buck, you bring back some other key players on the defensive and offensive lines. So, you put yourself in a pretty good position for next season.
Yeah, and it's great to see Rapini up and moving. You don't ever want to see anybody injured, but hopefully he'll be back stronger than ever next season. The one interesting guy that I've noticed is Aaron Dunn. I think he's playing right tackle. He's 6'8", 265. He's a freshman. What's he going to look like when he's a senior? Based on my growth rate, if I was 6'8", 265, I probably would have been about 7'3", 400 pounds by the time I was a senior. And we got a fumble.
Ball is loose, and East looks like they got back on it right there, and the quarterback came away with it. Brings up third down, and about 6, maybe 7 coming up. 4:30 to play, fourth quarter. Leopards lead the Dons 38-20.
And this game is not over yet, but if Spanish Fork wants any chance of winning this, they got to get a stop here on third down.
Here's Amone, and the Dons will get there. Tayson Reed, a couple other Dons, get there to make the stop to bring up fourth down and about 5.
Coach Smith's not using a timeout.
And I think they might. East looks like they're going to punt now. Timeout called Spanish Fork. So at 3:58, the Dons will stop the clock. They'll get the football back in their hands, looking to try to see what they can try to do.
So if you're Spanish Fork, you gotta block this punt like the season depends on it. But this game has been very physical. I see a couple. Rapini couldn't even go up to the trainer's stand or whatever you want to call it because Schwenke's on that, and so they're missing a couple of their defensive linemen here. So East is just they've got some big guys out there, very, very thick individuals playing football, and credit for East. They've had an excellent football program, so I don't think Spanish Fork should look at this as an upset other than just, hey, look how far we've come.
Amone will kick this one away. Cade Olsen will run over, try to return it. It's going to go towards the sideline and go out of bounds before Olsen can pick it up. And Spanish Fork will get the football back with 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. And that's really, Chris, kind of where you go. You talk about it was easy maybe coming into this one to say, okay, East is the number 22, we're the number 6. Favor goes to the Dons, but East is a lot better than that record indicates, and they're a lot better team than the number 22 in the RPI.
Yeah, well, there's one thing for sure. They were 3 spots from missing the playoffs, and we've watched enough 5A teams to know that East is probably a top 10 team at a minimum. Spanish Forks just had some bad turnovers and bad play, but at the end of the day, this game probably should have been a little bit closer than it is right now.
Stevenson rolls away, looking downfield, looking for Gunter, and overthrows Jace Gunter, and brings up second down.
And East is just dropping back into coverage earlier in this ball game. East was like, we're not going to let you guys run on us. We're going to load up the box with 8 guys, leave 1 safety back, cover 1 type defense. But now we're seeing them play a little bit softer coverage. If you're Spanish Fork, you don't have to get it all in one play. There's no play that gets you 18 points. Maybe they go back to something like that hook and ladder where it's going to be a lot less expected at this juncture.
2nd down and 10 coming up right here. Stevenson takes the snap, sets up the screen. Here's Kate Olsen. Olsen can't slip past the first tackler, though. Nice job there by Weaver, number 21, to get there on the tackle for East, and it brings up 3rd down and about 9.
3rd and 9 for the Dons. Obvious passing situation right here, so
a big 3rd and 9 right here. Ball on the 36-yard line for Spanish Fork. Ready to go right here with 4 wide receivers. Stevenson back to throw with some time, looking over the middle. That one incomplete. Jace Gunter, the intended receiver, and that brings up 4th down.
Little high that time by Stevenson, but he was definitely throwing that ball under duress and had to put some heat on that to get rid of it in a hurry.
So here we go, 4th down and 9, ball on the 36-yard line. Dons and Leopards. East trying to hold on and advance to the state quarterfinals next week. But they'll play either Stansbury or Olympus. That will be a road game for East. And now that will be a penalty. I believe it's going to be a false start against Kate Olsen.
Yeah, he just kind of was trying to hold his foot and then just kind of was falling forward as he had a forward lean on the outside.
So they'll back him up 3. Him and Tione Tausinga, and they've been kind of going at each other all night. Receiver and corner or safety, wherever Tausinga's lined up. A little bit of all over the place for East.
Oh, for sure. 4th in the ball game here for the Dons.
4th and 14 from their own 31. They need the 45-yard line for a fresh set of downs. Stevenson back to throw, steps up. He's going to try to run for it. He's going to get the 40. He's going to take a hit around the 41-yard line. Jarek Little on the tackle, and that will be a turnover on downs, and the ball will go to the East Leopards with 2:57 to go, and the Leopards will look to try to run out the clock on this one. As you see, Dustin Smith and Austin Stevenson.
Oh, Stevenson, came in as a kicker, ended up as a quarterback here. A very athletic kid, should hold his head up high. He's done a great job on leading this Dons offense, and it's tough to lose. You've put so many hours in this season, other seasons, learning the game of football. It's a very physical game. Not everybody can play it.
1st down and 10 from the 42-yard line. Here's a give. Amone leaps over 1 down to the 31-yard line, and that would be a gain of 9.
Yeah.
Don't see a penalty flag right there. In fact, they're going to give him a 1st down. They're going to say he got 10.
I don't think he leaped over anybody. I think he was just jumping through the hole that time, which I've never been able to jump faster than I can run, but it seemed to work for him to get a head start on that play with some momentum.
So 1st and 10 Leopards, ball in the Spanish Fork 32. 2:29 to go here in the 4th quarter. Leopards with the football, ready to go, 1st and 10. Here's the give. Tafisi, number 5, goes ahead, gets about 5 or 6 down to the 27-yard line. Good pickup of about 5 to make it 2nd and 5. And now the one thing you don't want if you're East here is any injuries to the last part of the game. And it looks like, is that Tafisi, number 5, who may be down? They'll stop the clock with 2:01.
Yeah, that can really derail a team, is when they have multiple, injuries. A lot of times you can have one or two guys leave, but when they start to add up, it really can affect the depth. And there's not very many people on a sideline, and there's not very many kids that can play at a high level.
Checking to see some scores from around the state. Timpanogos beats Box Elder. That one's gone final. Olympus is up on Stansbury. Bountiful up on Park City, 24-6. Timpview, Provo, and Orem tied at 7. How about Wasatch? Up 7-0 at Lehigh. And that pass is intercepted. picked off. It's going to be Tregeser.
Oh, it's 20.
No, that's number 20 on, and that is Nick Almiron, who comes away with the interception.
A great heads-up play by Almiron, just jumping the jump pass. That pass looked, for lack of a better term, ugly. I mean, that was one that you're running the ball well. I don't know why they're throwing the ball in this situation other than trying to be too cute, and that pass was just like a jump pass. Got to set your feet if you're Valia.
So, minute 31, Spanish Fork with the football. Dons spread the field goal, 4 wide receivers. And now timeout called by East.
East is waving the flag over there, but it's not over yet. Yeah, it's I don't know why you use a timeout other than maybe to get some other guys into the game. Like, well, maybe we should pull our starters. We got an 18-point lead.
And that's the last thing you'd want if you're East, getting ready for a potential road trip to, right now it looks like it would be Olympus. And that's the one thing you just don't want to see. You just don't want to see it. If you're East, you don't want any injuries here in the next minute 31. Spanish Fork, though, a lot to be proud of if you're the Dons and Dustin Smith. They'll put the Dons in a really good situation going into next football season. Biggest question may be at the quarterback position and things like that, looking at it for next season.
Well, I think Spanish Fork's got it's got a guy that people pay money to have their kids learn how to play quarterback. So that's one of the advantages they have. Is I believe Dustin Smith, isn't he at quarterback elite?
That's correct. So 1st and 10 for Spanish Fork.
And that's who Kalen Hall went through when he was in high school. Or not Kalen, Jaron.
Back to throw, stepping up. And a penalty flag comes in. Stevenson's thrown to the ground. Ball's loose. Picked up by East. And right here, they'll get down to about the 36-yard line. Penalty flags have been thrown right here. Another penalty flag has been thrown right here on both sides. The officials...
there was a little pushing and shoving. This game's about over. Blow your whistle. Get them separated. Let's get going home. Now we'll have to spend 50 seconds getting this sorted out.
And right here, we'll see here as the officials will sort it out. And the challenge is here, it really is, it was both teams. So if you're going to call something on one team, there has to be something going the other way. It takes two to have some kind of a scrum or anything there.
Yeah.
And I get, it kind of bothers me sometimes too often when they get the second guy but not the first guy.
And the way you could stop that is, at least higher levels, is instant replay. They're using it for everything else. Why not allow a coach to challenge, hey, my guy went late because he got hit late.
What they could do is we could put instant replay in the high school level too.
Absolutely not, because I just don't think the high schools have money to do it. I love getting it right, I'm all for justice, but sometimes we just got to use the officials' judgment.
We'll see here as they sort this one out with a minute 21. And I'm not advocating for replay at the high school level. I get kind of frustrated sometimes with multiple replays in a game. So
yeah, no, and I get that. That it's not as fun as a fan to watch on TV.
It's important to get it right, though.
And that's why I think, hey, you get a couple of challenges. Challenge them whatever you want, but as long as it's limited, right, in nature, and that you can't challenge every little thing.
So here we'll see here as they sort out the penalty. The official's still talking about it.
I wonder if we could come to some sort of agreement that they give the ball to East on the fumble and they go ahead and take a knee and we all move on, because this game's pretty much out of reach.
With a minute 21 and 2 timeouts right here, this is where it starts to get a little kind of...
I thought the officials...
Now they're going to go talk, it looks like, to Brandon Matic on the other side and kind of explain here what's going on.
They're probably going to move it up. They're probably going to move it back. They're going to move it up.
And one thing, too, if you're if you're East, the thing you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure to tell your players, hey, don't do anything that's potentially going to get you ejected or anything like that, because you don't want to miss time for the next contest.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a very valid point, because if you get kicked out of a game, you're suspended the next one, and you definitely want every shot you can to play a home game at Rice-Eccles if you're East High School. I didn't realize how close East was until we were there, and I'm like, we're in the parking lot of Rice-Eccles, essentially.
We'll see here. They're sorting it out, and I know Brandon Matic said, yeah, we want to move him back, but they marked the ball for Spanish Fork at the 43-yard line. And
looks like Spanish Fork's quarterback.
And so now Austin's.
Well, that was a pretty tough tackle that caused a fumble, but are they saying that was an incomplete pass? What are they saying?
Well,
because I saw a fumble, but if you're saying, yeah, he was throwing it, I'm curious to see if they make a call. Clearly his mic wasn't working. Oh, somebody got ejected.
So somebody did get ejected in the contest with that.
So first down, I believe there must have been a face mask on that tackle or something.
There was a face mask against East, and then what they said was the personal foul against Spanish Fork, personal foul against East, and then the player was ejected. So I think the player ejected was from East. But I could be wrong. I apologize if that is incorrect. Stevenson steps up, looking towards the middle of the field. That ball is going to be batted away, incomplete. Looking for Tayson Reed down the middle, and that brings up second down.
And everybody's just jawing after each play. You can tell that the tension's on the field must be pretty high.
So brings up second down. Minute 17 to go, fourth quarter. 38-20, Leopards leading the Dons. Stevenson back to throw with some time. Steps up, throws, has a completion to Cade Olsen, and Olsen's brought down. A penalty flag comes in right at the line to gain.
You can't grab him behind the shoulder pads. It's not legal anymore, which is tough because if you're coming in from behind Olsen like he is, where is the player supposed to grab onto? You know, he's trying to make a play. I don't think that's one where you're trying to injure anybody. You're just grabbing to whatever you can.
So personal foul, horse collar. That will move it right now 15 yards. That gives Spanish Fork a first down with 1:09 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Well, and it'd be a great way if the Dons can get 7 points to end the season, send out these seniors on a high note. You know, obviously they'd want to win this game, but 7 more points wouldn't hurt either.
Stevenson back to throw with some time. Throws middle of the field. That pass is picked off. Intercepted. Tausinga running it back across the 40, 45 to a midfield. Breaks the tackle, still on his feet. Stevenson can't get him, and Tausinga is going to be pushed out of bounds at around the Spanish Fork 20. And Tione Tausinga makes the big defensive play with 43 seconds left in this one.
A great play by Tausinga, reading the quarterback's eyes and coming up with the INT, and we'll see if East lines up in the victory formation here.
38-20 right there. The score with 43 seconds left. Leopards with the football on the Spanish Fork 23-yard line. I would think right here that East would just take a knee. I can't imagine that Spanish Fork would use timeouts at this point. But I've been known to be wrong, Chris.
Haven't we all?
And they're going to run a play. The ball looks like it came loose. Spanish Fork saying they got it. And it's Spanish Fork football. The Dons force a turnover with 37 seconds left. They come away with the football.
Great job by Dylan Thomas coming up with the fumble. I don't know what they're calling here, but on the back end, Tayson Reed got into it with number 53. So I think we're going to have some penalties there, and that's Amona. We have 3 Amonas on the roster playing for, maybe only 2 Amonas. Nope, John Amona, Amani Amona, and that 53 happens to be Salasoa Amona.
First down, the Dons come away with the fumble. We'll see here what the penalties are going to be called right here with 37 seconds left. Ready to go right here. We'll see personal foul. So Spanish Fork football, at the end of the day, the penalty was declined. And the Dons have it with 37 seconds left. Stay tuned. We'll wrap this one up after we go final and get our MVP Sports MVP of the game and sign off for the final time for the 2021 high school football season. Stevenson all by himself right here. And penalty flags fly here with 37 seconds to go.
We've ran off about 3 minutes of game time and the real lifetime of about 30 minutes. Holy cow. For a game that's not even close to being decided, it's not a decisive game.
Illegal substitution against East, so Spanish Fork will get 5 yards.
Yeah, so for Spanish Fork, you're just trying to get one more touchdown to end the season on a high note here.
Stevenson right here, 4 wide receivers. I'll set up the screen. Here's Joshua Buck. Buck cuts into the middle of the field. He's brought down.
We got all sorts of skirmishes all over the field.
Don's trying to go fast. 22 seconds. 17 seconds. Stevenson directing traffic. Dons do have 2 timeouts. Dustin Smith doesn't seem to be in the position of using one here, though. Here's Joshua Buck again. Buck going to be pushed back. Tries to break through the tackle before he's brought down, and that will end it. So a 38-20 final. East is moving on to the state quarterfinals. Brandon Matic gets the Gatorade bath on their sidelines. And a 38-20 final. We'll come back. We'll wrap this one up. We'll have our MVP Sports MVP of the game. You're watching high school football at Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
At Clegg Auto Body, we pay attention to all the finer details, the small things. A lot of people feel like they want their car quick and fast, but it takes time to get perfection. We work for the customer.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson & Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
If you want the real deal, contact State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
High school football here on Spanish Fork 17, a 38-20 final. East beating Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, we kind of wondered, coming into this one a little bit if East really was maybe number 22 in the RPI. Were they better? I kind of thought coming in they were going to play better than that 22 RPI ranking ended up being, and really East came out and did that tonight.
Yeah, they played mistake-free football outside at the end of the fourth quarter when they might have had a turnover or two. But for the most part, they ran their offense. They played their game. And outside of kickoff returns, you probably want to say they were A on offense, A on defense, and then D+ on special teams if I were giving out grades.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things you kind of wondered. You kind of said, hey, you need to play somewhat mistake-free football, put themselves in a good position if you're Spanish Fork. And really, what really hurt the Dons tonight was they had a hard time establishing the run, and they couldn't get much going through the air.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason they had to abandon the run is they fell down 14-0 in the blink of an eye due to some bad snaps on offense and a face mask on a kickoff return. But at the end of the day, it was just the East ball game tonight, and Spanish Fork just could never catch back up.
Yeah, definitely one of those games. Our MVP Sports MVP for the last time in the high school football season tonight goes to a player that's made electric plays all year long for the Dons. I don't think we've had him as the MVP Sports MVP of the game this year, but tonight's player very deserving.
Yeah, it's Cade Olsen. He started off the season here at Spanish Fork Dons Stadium. I don't know what the official name is, by having a kickoff return to open this stadium up, an electric moment. And then he ends the season with last game having 2 kickoff returns. He had to have over 300 yards of all-purpose yards. He gave a lot to the Spanish Fork team. I believe he started when he was a sophomore at receiver and punter, and then just was electric for 3 years.
Definitely an exciting night for Cade Olsen for sure, at least when it came to the action on the field. Tough loss for Spanish Fork, but you have to take a lot of positives into next year if you're Dustin Smith and the Dons for sure, right, Chris?
Yeah, I think they've kind of figured out some things on offense, obviously, with Coach Smith bringing in that spread offense, and they can go in a hurry. They can take their time and huddle up, so a lot there. And then on defense, I think they did a great job of playing sound running defense. I know you wouldn't say that tonight, but overall, one of the weaknesses Spanish Fork football year over year was as the other team was just going to run the ball down their throat, and it wasn't the case this season.
Yeah, definitely a lot of positives to take into next year if you're Dustin Smith and the Dons. Well, it's been a pleasure to be with you all season long here up for high school football on Spanish Fork 17. A lot of people to thank to make these broadcasts possible each and every Friday night. We have a great crew here that puts in tireless times and efforts here to make sure that these broadcasts are set and ready to go. Also the coaches from both teams, as well as the athletic directors of both Maple Mountain High School and Spanish Fork High School. For our entire Spanish Fork Community Network team and my partner Chris Hurst, I'm Ryan Pickens signing off for the final time for high school football in 2021. Basketball will be coming next here in the next few weeks here on Spanish Fork 17, so look for those games coming up in late November, early December here on Spanish Fork 17. Have a great night.